In the quiet moments when the body begins to settle, when the breath softens and the mind drifts toward a slower rhythm, it can be comforting to imagine the inner landscape of the human body as a peaceful place, a place where countless small processes unfold without urgency or noise. Among these quiet companions within you, the liver rests as one of the most diligent and unassuming. It sits beneath the right side of your rib cage, warm and steady, carrying out its many responsibilities with a calm constancy that rarely calls attention to itself. Even though it is one of the largest organs in the body, its presence is gentle, its work continuous, and its contribution essential. To begin this journey, we ease into understanding the liver with the same softness with which the organ itself cares for the body, allowing each idea to settle slowly, like the settling of the breath in a peaceful room. The liver is deeply woven into the body's internal harmony, and its responsibilities touch nearly every system you rely on for life and well-being. Much like the heart supplies circulation and the lungs offer oxygen, the liver tends to the quieter balancing acts that keep your body in a state of steady internal equilibrium. This balance, known as homeostasis, is a theme that appears again and again throughout the study of the body. It is the body's effort to maintain stability in the face of constant change, to keep internal conditions within comfortable limits, even when the world around you shifts. The liver plays a central role in this quiet balancing, working with nutrients, chemicals, hormones, and energy supplies so the body can function smoothly without your conscious effort. In anatomy, organs are often grouped by their shared responsibilities, but as you drift gently into this topic, it is helpful to remember that the liver does not belong to just one system. It participates in digestion, metabolism, detoxification, and endocrine regulation, a reminder that many organs, including the liver, wear more than one hat and contribute to several physiological systems at once. As you continue to settle into the gentle pace of this exploration, imagine the body as a collection of systems that work together not in isolation but in collaboration. Each organ supports the others, each system compensates when another requires assistance, and none of these interactions happen abruptly. Instead, they occur like softly flowing currents in a calm sea, meeting and parting in a rhythm that has evolved over millions of years. The liver is part of this alliance, receiving signals from the digestive tract, responding to messages from the endocrine glands, and adjusting its behavior to complement what the rest of the body is doing. When you take in nutrients during a meal, the liver quietly begins to process what the digestive system absorbs. When you rest, the liver shifts gears, tending to stored energy and clearing away unnecessary byproducts. When blood sugar dips, it works with the pancreas to restore balance by releasing glucose back into the bloodstream. Each interaction demonstrates the same idea found throughout human biology. Organs do not operate alone, but exist as coordinated partners within a larger living whole. In the study of anatomy, it is common to examine each organ separately, as though it has its own distinct boundary, its own defined and isolated purpose. But as you listen in this calming space, it becomes easier to sense that the reality is much more fluid. The liver is a perfect example of this. In another, the liver is a perfect example. While it is often classified within the digestive system, its work extends far beyond digestion, touching on chemical balance, energy management, immune support, and hormone regulation. In this way, even the categorization of organ systems becomes a gentle illusion, a convenience for the mind, rather than a strict reflection of the body's true interconnectedness. The liver's varied contributions remind us that biology is not a collection of isolated compartments but an intricate, cooperative design. You might picture it like a quiet marketplace where different pathways meet, where nutrients, hormones, and signals are exchanged, and where the body's internal condition is preserved with soft, continuous adjustments. This perspective mirrors the way the body truly functions, with each part contributing in ways both expected and surprising. As you breathe softly and allow your mind to settle further, you may begin to appreciate how much the liver does without asking anything of your awareness. Every moment, it is processing blood that flows directly from the digestive organs, examining each molecule it encounters, gently separating what is useful from what must be altered or removed. It acts like a filter, but not a filter of harsh separation. Rather, it is a discerning, nurturing caretaker that transforms nutrients into forms the body can use, stores them for later, and neutralizes any substances that may be harmful. This ongoing work is not abrupt or forceful. It happens gradually, in cycles and currents, one chemical transformation after another, each step supporting the next, in a continuous whisper of activity. The liver also contributes to homeostasis in ways that may not be immediately obvious. For example, when blood glucose levels shift, the liver responds with remarkable sensitivity, helping the body return to equilibrium through processes that either store or release energy. When the digestive system absorbs nutrients, the liver determines how they will be used, whether they should be converted, stored, or circulated. And when toxins or metabolic byproducts appear, the liver neutralizes them, keeping the internal environment safe and stable. These carefully calibrated responses reflect the same principles found throughout biology, that the body monitors itself continuously and adjusts gently, moment by moment, to preserve stability. The liver, in its quiet but tireless manner, is one of the organs most dedicated to maintaining this internal constancy. If you imagine the body as a vast landscape with rivers, fields, and quiet pathways, the liver might be pictured as a calm central valley where many streams converge. Nutrients arrive from the digestive tract like water flowing in from distant hills. Glucose rises and falls like the changing seasons, and the liver responds as needed, storing energy during moments of abundance and releasing it during quieter times. The liver is both a meeting point and a mediator, turning the continuous flow of materials and information into a balanced internal environment. This imagery can help soothe the mind, offering a sense of gentle stability within your own body, where many different processes come together to support life in a unified and harmonious way. As part 1 draws to a close, allow the feeling of calm to deepen. The liver, though often overlooked, represents the quiet devotion of the body's inner systems. It works not with urgency but with patience, not with force but with elegance, ensuring that countless chemical reactions unfold in the right place, in the right moment, and in the right proportions. There is a softness to its presence, a sort of humble reliability that supports your well-being day and night. By beginning this journey with an appreciation of the liver's gentle nature, you can continue forward with a sense of ease, drifting deeper into the rhythms and stories of an organ that serves you continuously, faithfully, and quietly, even as you rest. 2. Finding the liver within the body. To continue this gentle exploration, let us drift slowly into a sense of place, imagining the inner landscape of the body with the same calm attentiveness one might bring to observing a quiet horizon at dusk. The liver, though busy and essential in everything it does, rests in a location that feels sheltered and steady, tucked securely beneath the right side of the rib cage. As you breathe softly, you might imagine those ribs as a protective arch, curving gracefully over the organ, creating a calm chamber where the liver can carry out its work without disturbance. This position, sheltered but central, mirrors the liver's role in the wider physiology of the body, present in almost everything that keeps you well, yet gentle and almost invisible in its presence. Many organs work in this silent, collaborative way, not drawing attention to themselves but shaping every moment of your internal equilibrium. The liver is one of these quiet contributors, positioned where it can receive, filter, and transform, all without asking anything of your conscious mind. If the body is thought of as a landscape, then the upper right abdomen forms a warm and protected valley where the liver resides. It fits beneath the diaphragm, the broad muscle that moves with each breath. As you inhale, the diaphragm descends gently, touching the upper surface of the liver with a soft motion. As you exhale, it lifts away again, giving the liver space to settle back into its natural shape. This movement is calm and rhythmic, a quiet meeting between two essential structures that never rush and never pause. The liver leans slightly toward the left as it extends across the midline, reaching toward the stomach in a subtle way that reminds us that organs, like people in a shared space, rarely exist in strict isolation. They overlap slightly, touch lightly, and collaborate continuously. The liver's position reflects this kind of gentle cooperation, forming soft borders rather than rigid boundaries. Within this sheltered space, the liver rests against several neighboring organs, each contributing its own form of support. The stomach, positioned just to the left, curls gently beneath the liver's left lobe. The gallbladder nestles into a small hollow on the underside of the liver, shaped perfectly to fit its curve. Below the liver lie the first segments of the small intestine, receiving the nutrient-rich material that will soon be guided into the liver's care. Toward the back, the right kidney shares part of the space, resting slightly lower than the left kidney because the liver occupies the upper region on that side. These anatomical relationships create a sense of peaceful coexistence, where every structure has room to function, but also participates in a quiet partnership with the organs around it. The liver, though large, does not dominate the space. Instead, it molds itself into gentle contours, adapting easily to the curves of the diaphragm above and the organs below. The rib cage plays an especially important role in creating this sense of quiet shelter. Composed of curved, resilient bone, the ribs protect many of the body's most vital organs, and the liver is one of them. Most of the liver lies behind these ribs, hidden safely away, allowing it to perform its many duties without being disturbed by external pressure. This protection also reflects the importance of the organ itself. In the study of anatomy, the body tends to protect the structures it cannot easily do without, and the liver is certainly among those. Its careful placement beneath the ribs mirrors its central role in maintaining internal stability. Even the way the ribs move with each breath, expanding slightly as air enters and relaxing as it leaves, creates a gentle massage-like motion around the organs they encase. The liver, sensitive to changes in pressure and movement, responds to this shifting space with its own subtle adjustments. The surface of the liver itself is smooth and soft, shaped to fit comfortably beneath the diaphragm and around its neighboring structures. Its upper surface is gently domed, mirroring the curve of the diaphragm that presses down upon it with each inhalation. The lower surface is more irregular, shaped by the stomach. These contours serve not only to optimize its position, but also to create a sense of anatomical harmony in the upper abdomen. Nothing feels out of place here. Every structure is shaped by its surroundings, and every organ carries the imprint of the ones it touches. This interconnectedness is a reminder of how closely the body works as a single unit, an idea echoed throughout physiology, where organs collaborate and adjust to one another's needs in a continuous, coordinated dance. The liver's location also allows it to be the first organ to receive nutrients absorbed from the digestive system. Blood coming from the stomach and intestines travels directly to the liver through the portal vein, bringing with it the materials the body will soon use for energy, repair, and storage. This direct pathway makes the liver's position ideal. It is situated exactly where it needs to be to act as a quiet guardian, evaluating and transforming nutrients before they circulate to the rest of the body. This arrangement highlights the liver's role not just in digestion, but in the overall balance of the internal environment. Because the liver receives this nutrient-rich blood so quickly, it can help regulate levels of glucose, fats, amino acids, and other substances almost immediately. It becomes, in a sense, the body's gentle checkpoint. This central placement within the larger network of organs supports the liver's function as one of the primary maintainers of homeostasis. If you imagine yourself shrinking down into the body's interior, floating softly along with the bloodstream or drifting with the rise and fall of the diaphragm, you might feel how peaceful the liver's environment truly is. There is no abrupt motion here, only the gentle shifting of organs with the breath, the steady flow of blood, and the quiet renewal of tissue. Everything moves with a sense of continuity, and the liver sits at the center of this flow, absorbing, releasing, transforming, and storing in an unending rhythm. The soft tissues that surround it, the rib cage that protects it, and the diaphragm that rests above it all contribute to the sense of calm that defines this region of the body. Even though the liver is constantly working, processing nutrients, breaking down chemicals, supporting immune functions, it does so without creating any sensation that reaches the conscious mind. Instead, it remains a background presence, comforting in its reliability. As you allow this imagery to settle, you might begin to sense the liver not as a distant anatomical structure, but as a quiet companion within you, a steady presence supporting your well-being in every moment. Its location is more than a physical placement. It is part of the design that allows the body to function in harmonious equilibrium. The right upper abdomen becomes a peaceful corner of this internal landscape, a place where life-sustaining processes unfold with a timeless softness. Ending this part of the journey, you can simply rest in the knowledge that the liver's calm and protected position mirrors its steady dedication to your internal balance, offering support that is both essential and deeply, quietly reassuring. 3. The liver's shape, texture, and subtle movements. When imagining the liver, it is helpful to picture an organ that feels both grounded and gentle, firm in its structure yet soft in its presence. As you settle into a slower rhythm, you might envision the liver as a warm, quietly shimmering form, resting beneath the protective dome of the diaphragm. Its shape, which resembles a smooth wedge or a softened triangular form, follows the natural contours of the body's interior. Nothing about it feels abrupt or sharp. Instead, its edges curve with the same patient grace that characterizes much of the body's internal architecture. The upper surface of the liver fits so closely to the diaphragm that the two seem to move together with every breath, sharing a tranquil partnership that continues day and night. With each inhalation, the liver experiences a soft downward nudge. With each exhalation, a gentle release upward, like a slow and perpetual rocking motion that has been repeating since the earliest moments of your life. The texture of the liver is smooth and delicate when viewed closely, wrapped in a thin connective tissue capsule that helps it maintain its form. Beneath this outer layer lies a dense but pliable interior, rich with life and color, full of tiny repeating units that allow the liver to carry out its many responsibilities. Even though the liver is firm to the touch, it is not rigid. It has a quiet flexibility, an ability to adapt to the movements of surrounding organs without strain or resistance. This adaptability is necessary because the diaphragm, stomach, intestines, and ribs all shift gradually throughout the day. The liver does not push back against these motions, but instead moves harmoniously with them, following their rhythms the way a leaf on water might drift in response to the softest current. This quality helps preserve the sense of calm that defines the liver's environment, a stillness that remains even as countless microscopic processes unfold within its tissues. If you picture the diaphragm above the liver like a gently curved ceiling, you can imagine how closely the two structures rest against one another. The diaphragm contracts to draw air into the lungs, pressing softly against the dome-shaped surface of the liver, and then relaxes upward again, giving the liver space to float back into its natural position. This movement is so subtle and so persistently calm that the liver seems to breathe alongside the respiratory system. You might think of the diaphragm as a protective guardian, sheltering the liver from above while also minimizing sudden changes in pressure. With every breath, the two engage in this effortless conversation, a coordinated movement that continues without pause from the moment of birth onward. The relationship between them demonstrates the deep interconnectedness of organs, where the motion of one supports the function of another in ways that feel both quiet and intuitive. The lower surface of the liver, by contrast, is shaped by the organs that rest beneath it. The stomach creates gentle impressions in the underside of the left lobe. The gallbladder fits into a small depression, perfectly molded for its presence, like a pebble settling into a smooth hollow on a riverbank. The intestines offer their own contours, shaping the liver in subtle ways. These impressions are not deep or forceful. They form slowly over time, reflecting a long-standing companionship between neighboring organs. Because the liver is large, occupying much of the upper abdomen, it shares boundaries with several regions of the digestive system. Yet the way it accommodates each of these structures is soft and organic, as though it has grown to meet them, adapting to the natural curve of each surface. This is one of the gentle truths of human anatomy. Organs shape one another through coexistence, creating a landscape within the body where every form responds quietly to the forms that surround it. The liver's internal structure mirrors this sense of gentle complexity. Though it looks solid from the outside, within it lies a rich network of blood vessels, tiny pathways, and repeating units known as lobules. These microscopic structures are arranged in a pattern that supports both stability and fluidity. Each lobule functions as a small processing unit, receiving blood, filtering its contents, and responding to signals that help regulate the body's internal environment. Even though this interactivity is constant and intricate, the overall effect remains quiet. Nothing about the liver's operation disrupts the stillness of its surroundings. Instead, millions of small transformations happen in harmony, each contributing to the organ's smooth exterior and its calm presence in the abdominal cavity. This internal architecture enables the liver to adapt seamlessly when nearby organs shift, providing both strength and flexibility in equal measure. If you imagine yourself gently shrinking to the size of a cell, drifting across the liver's surface, you might sense its softness and its slightly yielding form. You would notice its warmth, reflecting the blood that flows through it at every moment, and feel the faintest movements that ripple from the diaphragm's steady rise and fall. The liver does not pulse like the heart, nor does it inflate like the lungs. Its motion is quieter, more of a slow sway than a distinct rhythm. This subtle movement helps keep blood flowing evenly through its tissues, ensuring that nutrients, hormones, and signals are distributed with smooth consistency. It also helps the liver maintain its connection to the organs around it, responding to pressure changes without resistance. Everything in this region moves together, like parts of a single, unified breath. Because the liver is so well protected by the rib cage, you might picture those ribs as curved branches forming a shelter around it. Their firmness contrasts with the liver's softer texture, creating a balance between protection and flexibility. Most of the liver lies behind these ribs, hidden from the outside world, which allows it to perform its essential work without disturbance. This placement reflects the body's instinct to protect the structures that cannot easily be replaced. In anatomy, organs that perform multiple vital functions tend to be carefully shielded, and the liver's position beneath the ribs speaks to its importance. Even the gentle pressure of the abdominal organs as they shift with digestion does not disrupt the liver, but instead encourages it to adapt lightly, adjusting its position with a quiet patience that permeates every movement it makes. This interplay of shape, texture, and movement creates a sort of harmony around the liver, a soft choreography that continues throughout the day and night. Though the liver is always working, its presence remains peaceful, a reflection of its ability to balance complexity with calmness. Its form is sculpted by breath, by the neighboring organs, and by the natural curves of the abdominal cavity, resulting in an organ that feels both grounded and fluid. When the body moves, whether you bend, twist, breathe deeply, or rest, the liver moves with you, maintaining its gentle contact with the diaphragm and adapting to every shift with ease. This quiet flexibility is part of what gives the liver its stability, allowing it to stay anchored even as it sways softly with each breath. As this part comes to a close, you may begin to feel the quiet presence of your own liver more vividly, not as a separate or distant structure, but as a peaceful participant in your internal world. Its shape reflects the curves of your body. Its texture speaks to the softness of living tissue. Its movements mirror the rhythm of your breath. It's not okay. All of these qualities come together to form an organ that supports your life not through force, but through gentle constancy. With each passing moment, it continues its work with the same calm assurance, shaping itself to the needs of the body and responding with a softness that so often goes unnoticed. In this sense, the liver becomes a symbol of quiet strength within you, an enduring reminder of the peaceful, intricate cooperation that sustains your inner landscape. 4. The liver as a multifunctional organ. As we drift further into this gentle anatomical landscape, the liver begins to reveal its remarkable versatility, not through drama or noise, but in the soft, continuous way it contributes to so many of the body's essential rhythms. It is often described as a multifunctional organ, and this description is accurate, but it does not fully capture the quiet elegance with which the liver performs its many roles. To imagine the liver properly, you might picture a calm, steady hub within a vast network of systems, an organ that connects digestion, metabolism, detoxification, hormone regulation, and energy balance, weaving them together in a way that allows the body to maintain harmony. Its responsibilities are broad, yet its presence remains peaceful, always working, always adjusting, and always supporting the internal environment with steady assurance. Many organs in the body focus on a single primary task, but the liver flows through several, reminding us that life within the body is collaborative rather than compartmentalized. The liver's connection to the digestive system is one of its most familiar roles, yet even here its work is gentle and far-reaching. After a meal, the digestive organs begin their processes breaking down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins into smaller components that can be absorbed. These nutrients do not immediately travel throughout the body. Instead, they first arrive at the liver through the portal vein, a special pathway that directs newly absorbed materials to this quiet processing center. You might imagine the liver receiving these nutrients like a peaceful harbor receiving incoming currents, each carrying substances that need to be sorted, refined, transformed, or stored. Carbohydrates are converted to glucose or stored as glycogen. Amino acids are reorganized into new proteins or used to support countless chemical reactions. Fats begin their journey of transformation. All these tasks happen continuously, yet so gently that the body experiences no sensation of effort or strain, only the resulting balance that allows it to function smoothly after eating. Beyond digestion, the liver becomes a guardian of the body's chemical environment. It examines what enters the bloodstream and responds according to the body's needs. Some substances require modification to become useful. Others must be neutralized so they can be safely removed. This detoxification process is one of the liver's most remarkable abilities. It does not simply filter the blood in a mechanical sense. Instead, it relies on complex enzymes and pathways to break down chemicals into harmless forms. These substances might include remnants of medications, metabolic byproducts, or components of foods that need to be handled with care. The liver processes them patiently, step by step, ensuring that what remains in circulation is safe and balanced. Even though this work is crucial, it feels understated, happening quietly beneath the surface, a steady whisper of molecular transformation that supports the body's long-term well-being. Another of the liver's gentle roles is in regulating energy. Throughout the day, your body's energy needs change, sometimes rising, sometimes falling, sometimes shifting with activity or rest. The liver follows these fluctuations with a kind of soft attentiveness. When blood glucose becomes too high, the liver stores excess sugar as glycogen. When glucose becomes too low, perhaps between meals or during sleep, the liver releases glucose back into the bloodstream through a process called glycogenolysis. These shifts allow the body to maintain a steady supply of energy no matter what the external circumstances may be. You might picture this as a quiet lantern glowing inside the body, adjusting its brightness so that it always provides just the right amount of light. The liver's participation in this balance is intricate yet calm, a background adjustment that keeps energy levels from swinging wildly, ensuring that the brain, muscles, and organs function smoothly. In addition to managing nutrients and energy, the liver supports the endocrine system, working alongside glands throughout the body to maintain hormonal balance. Hormones are delicate chemical messengers that influence growth, metabolism, digestion, and emotion. The liver helps break down hormones that have completed their tasks, clearing space for new signals to circulate. This gentle recycling process keeps the endocrine system functioning without interruptions, allowing hormones to work in cycles that unfold with natural ease. The liver, in this sense, acts like a soft regulator, ensuring that signals do not linger too long or fade too quickly. This subtle collaboration between organs shows how deeply interconnected the body systems truly are. The liver, while not a gland itself, behaves as an extended partner within the endocrine network, helping maintain equilibrium across many layers of bodily function. The liver also participates in the formation of important proteins that circulate through the bloodstream. Some of these proteins support blood clotting, helping the body respond gently and appropriately to small injuries. Others help maintain the fluid balance between blood vessels and surrounding tissues. Still others transport nutrients, hormones, and fats to where they are needed. This quiet production line of essential molecules takes place constantly, a reminder that even during stillness, the liver provides the building blocks that keep bodily processes from drifting out of balance. These proteins do not announce their creation. They simply appear where the body needs them, carrying out their functions with an unobtrusive consistency. Another aspect of the liver's multifunctional nature lies in its ability to store essential vitamins and minerals. Many nutrients that are crucial for health cannot be used all at once, so the liver gently stores them, holding them in reserve until the body calls for them. Vitamins like A, D, E, K, and B12 can remain safely tucked within liver tissue for long periods. The mineral iron, essential for forming red blood cells, is also stored here in a careful balance. These stored nutrients are not just supplies. They are a quiet assurance that the body will have what it needs during changing circumstances. The liver offers this service without urgency, patiently safeguarding nutrients and releasing them only as needed, much like a peaceful archive holding resources for the future. Yet perhaps the most striking quality of the liver as a multifunctional organ is not the variety of its tasks, but the calm, unified way in which these tasks intertwine. Digestion flows into metabolism, metabolism into detoxification, detoxification into hormone management, and hormone management into energy regulation. Nothing feels separate or fragmented. Each responsibility merges softly into the next, creating a rounded sense of continuity. The liver's work reflects the broader truth that the body itself is an interconnected system where every organ communicates with others, forming a collaborative network that prioritizes stability and balance. We often learn about body systems one at a time as digestive, endocrine, circulatory, or metabolic, but in reality, they overlap constantly, sharing pathways and signals in ways that defy rigid categorization. The liver stands at the center of this interconnected network, gently influencing multiple systems at once. As you settle into the peaceful rhythm of this understanding, the liver may begin to feel less like a distant structure and more like a quiet companion, an organ that works continuously in your favor, guiding and balancing internal processes that would otherwise drift out of alignment. Instead, it offers a steady, familiar presence, carrying out complex biochemical tasks while maintaining a calm environment within the body. Its multifunctional abilities are not a burden but a reflection of its design, a design shaped by evolution to serve the body in the most gentle, comprehensive way possible. As Part 4 draws to a quiet close, you may feel a growing appreciation for the way the liver integrates so many responsibilities into a single, harmonious flow. Its work touches digestion, energy, detoxification, circulation, and hormone regulation. Yet it remains a soft presence, unseen, unfelt, and often unacknowledged, but essential in its devotion to your internal well-being. 5. Blood flow into the liver. To understand the liver more deeply, it can be soothing to imagine not just its shape or its position, but the gentle currents of blood that flow into it, bringing nourishment, information, and subtle messages from other parts of the body. The liver is often described as one of the most richly supplied organs in terms of blood flow, and this abundance is not forceful or overwhelming. It is rhythmic, steady, and calm, like the slow rise and fall of waves along a quiet shoreline. Blood enters the liver in two distinct streams, each with its own purpose, its own quiet story, and its own contribution to the harmonious balance the liver maintains. As you settle into this part of the journey, you may find it comforting to envision these streams, not as mechanical pathways, but as gentle rivers flowing through an internal landscape, each carrying the materials necessary for life's ongoing equilibrium. The first of these rivers comes from the hepatic artery, a vessel that branches off the larger arteries supplying the abdominal region. This artery delivers oxygen-rich blood straight from the heart, offering the liver the energy it needs to perform its many tasks. Just as the heart's steady pulse quietly sustains every organ, the hepatic artery brings a sense of vitality to the liver, supplying it with a continuous stream of oxygenated blood. This blood does not rush or surge. Instead, it arrives in a soft, reliable rhythm. The liver receives this oxygen with a kind of calm acceptance, using it to fuel the thousands of chemical reactions occurring within its tissues every moment. Even when the body is at rest, even when breathing slows and the mind begins to drift, this flow continues without interruption, maintaining the gentle hum of activity that keeps the body in balance. The second river of blood entering the liver is perhaps even more significant. This stream travels through the portal vein, a vessel unique in its purpose and design. The portal vein gathers blood from the stomach, intestines, pancreas, and spleen, carrying with it the nutrients absorbed from recently eaten food. Instead of sending this blood directly into general circulation, the body guides it first to the liver, allowing this quiet organ to examine and refine the materials it contains. You might imagine the portal vein as a long, winding river carrying freshly gathered supplies from distant fields. By the time this blood reaches the liver, it contains carbohydrates, amino acids, vitamins, and other substances that have just entered the internal environment. The liver greets this blood with gentle attention, sorting its contents carefully, transforming some substances, storing others, and allowing the rest to pass through unchanged. This delicate process reflects the liver's central role in maintaining internal harmony. It ensures that the nutrients entering the body are balanced, safe, and ready for use. Because the liver receives blood from both the hepatic artery and the portal vein, it functions as a quiet crossroads within the body. Oxygen-rich blood arrives from one direction, nutrient-rich blood from another, and within the liver's interior these two flows mingle softly, creating a blended stream that passes through countless small channels. These channels are called sinusoids, and they wind gently through the liver like tiny canals through a peaceful city. Within these sinusoids, blood moves slowly, giving the liver time to examine everything it contains. This slow pace is important. It is not hurried or pressured, but designed to allow the liver to perform its tasks with precision and care. You might imagine the blood flowing through these sinusoids as drifting rather than rushing, a quiet meander that encourages harmony rather than urgency. As the blood passes through these delicate channels, it encounters specialized cells that perform many of the liver's essential functions. Some cells remove toxins or unwanted substances, breaking them down so they can be safely eliminated. Others help regulate nutrients, ensuring that glucose, amino acids, and fats are distributed in the right amounts. Still others support the immune system, identifying and neutralizing bacteria or particles that may have entered the bloodstream from the digestive tract. Even though this work is complex, it takes place with a soft steadiness, like an ongoing conversation between the blood and the tissues it passes through. Everything within the liver moves with a quiet purpose, each cell participating in a larger harmony that preserves the body's internal balance. One of the most soothing aspects of understanding liver blood flow is recognizing how seamlessly it integrates with the breath. Because the liver rests so close to the diaphragm, it moves gently with every inhalation and exhalation. When you breathe in, the diaphragm presses downward slightly, creating a soft pressure that encourages blood to move through the sinusoids. When you breathe out, the pressure eases, allowing the liver to expand subtly and return to its resting shape. This creates a gentle pumping effect, not forceful like the heartbeat but subtle and constant, enhancing the slow circulation through the liver's interior. In this way, breathing not only oxygenates the blood, but also supports the liver's quiet internal flow. Each breath becomes part of a soft rhythm that keeps the liver nourished and helps it perform its work with ease. As blood continues its journey through the liver, the organ decides what to do with each substance it encounters. Some molecules are stored for later, kept in reserve until the body needs them. Others are transformed into forms that can circulate safely to other tissues. These decisions are not abrupt. They are made gradually, continuously, and always with the broader picture of the body's balance in mind. This ongoing refinement demonstrates how deeply interconnected the liver is with every system in the body. Whether the digestive system sends nutrients, the endocrine system sends hormonal signals, or the circulatory system delivers oxygen, the liver responds with calm adaptability, adjusting its work to meet the moment's needs. Eventually, after the blood has passed through the sinusoids and been refined by the liver's many processes, it gathers into small veins that converge into the hepatic veins. These vessels then return the blood to the heart. By the time the blood leaves the liver, it is in a more balanced state, its nutrient levels regulated, its toxins removed or neutralized, its chemical composition gently shaped to support the body's ongoing health. This return flow is like the quiet completion of a cycle, a soft exhale after the inhale of incoming blood. It reflects a sense of closure and readiness, preparing the body for whatever comes next. As this part draws to a peaceful end, you may find it comforting to imagine the liver not as a busy organ full of complicated pathways, but as a calm center where two gentle rivers come together. One brings oxygen, the other brings nourishment. Inside the liver, these rivers slow, mingle, and transform, creating a flow that supports the body in ways both subtle and profound. This balance of movement, this quiet merging of currents, mirrors the broader sense of harmony that defines the body as a whole. And as you rest here in understanding, you may feel a growing appreciation for the stillness that resides within you, a quiet rhythm sustained in part by the soft, steady flow of blood through the liver. 6. Sugar, energy, and the liver's balancing act. In the soft rhythm of the body, where countless processes unfold quietly behind every breath, the regulation of energy stands out as one of the most gentle yet essential tasks. And at the center of this quiet choreography lies the liver, an organ that behaves not only as a guardian of nutrients, but as a patient custodian of equilibrium. Its care for the body's energy is not dramatic or forceful. Instead, it resembles a calm and continuous conversation with the bloodstream, listening, responding, adjusting, and restoring balance with the same steady presence that defines all of its work. As we move into this part of the journey, we drift into the liver's role in managing blood sugar, storing energy, and releasing it when needed, observing how this quiet process supports the body from morning to night and through every change in activity or rest. Throughout the day, the glucose level in the bloodstream rises and falls, with gentle waves influenced by meals, sleep, physical movement, and the body's internal signals. When you eat, carbohydrates break down into simple sugars that enter the bloodstream through the digestive tract. Instead of allowing these sugars to flood directly into circulation, the body guides them first to the liver through the portal vein, allowing this thoughtful organ to moderate their arrival. The liver receives this nutrient-rich blood with a calm attentiveness, recognizing that too much glucose in the bloodstream could disrupt the body's delicate equilibrium. In response, the liver begins its soft process of storing the excess. It converts some of the incoming glucose into glycogen, a compact and easily accessible form of energy. This transformation, known as glycogenesis, allows the liver to tuck away energy for later moments when the body will need it again. This act of storing is not abrupt. It unfolds gently, molecule by molecule, creating reserves that remain available like a quiet lantern, waiting to be lit when the night grows darker. As time passes after a meal, and the body gradually uses the glucose circulating in the blood, levels begin to fall. The liver senses this shift almost immediately, much like a careful steward noticing the dimming of a flame. When blood glucose reaches lower levels, the liver draws upon its stored glycogen. This process, called glycogenolysis, feels like the gentle opening of a reservoir, allowing just enough energy to flow outward to sustain the brain, muscles, and organs without causing imbalance. The liver participates in this ebb and flow with a remarkable patience, never rushing the release of energy, always maintaining a smooth and predictable rhythm that supports the body's natural cycles. Even during the quiet hours of sleep, when eating has paused and the body settles into stillness, ensuring that the brain receives a steady supply of glucose to maintain its activity through the night. The liver's relationship with the pancreas deepens this balance. These two organs exchange subtle messages carried through hormones that guide the liver's decisions about energy storage and release. When blood glucose rises, the pancreas releases insulin, a hormone that encourages the liver to store excess glucose as glycogen. When blood glucose falls, the pancreas releases glucagon, which signals the liver to break down glycogen and release glucose into the bloodstream. This soft communication between the pancreas and the liver forms a collaborative dialogue that preserves equilibrium throughout the day. The liver's response to these signals is never abrupt or forceful. It is measured, steady, and entirely attuned to the body's shifting needs. This harmonious coordination between endocrine and metabolic systems reveals how intertwined the body's internal workings truly are. Beyond storing and releasing glucose, the liver also plays a role in producing new glucose when necessary. This process, known as gluconeogenesis, gently synthesizes glucose from other molecules such as amino acids, glycerol, and lactate. This often occurs during longer periods of fasting, extended sleep, or moments when the body requires additional energy beyond what is immediately available. Though this process is more intricate, it maintains the same quiet intention: to keep the body's internal environment steady and nourished. The liver does not wait for energy levels to drop dangerously low. It anticipates needs and responds in advance, adjusting its work in ways that ensure the body never loses its gentle equilibrium. This balancing act extends beyond glucose alone. The liver also modulates fats and amino acids, transforming them into forms that can be stored, utilized, or sent into circulation. After a meal rich in carbohydrates, the liver may convert some of the excess glucose into fatty acids, storing them for later use. During times of fasting or increased energy demand, the liver may break down these fatty acids to produce ketone bodies, providing an alternative energy source for the brain and other tissues. This ability to shift between energy sources reflects the liver's adaptability and its deep awareness of the body's continuous needs. It behaves like a wise overseer, adjusting resources without hesitation, ensuring that nothing is wasted and nothing becomes excessive. As you breathe softly and imagine these processes unfolding within you, the liver may begin to feel like a companion that follows your daily rhythm with tender awareness. When you enjoy a meal, the liver responds with openness, accepting what the body has taken in and storing it with care. When you sleep, it keeps a quiet watch. During movement or rest, in waking or sleeping, the liver adjusts its energy management seamlessly, always maintaining a sense of continuity and stability. All of these actions reflect the broader theme of homeostasis, the body's natural desire to maintain internal conditions within comfortable ranges. The liver plays a central role in this endeavor. Even though its metabolic pathways are complex and numerous, the overall effect is a feeling of ease throughout the body. It becomes easier to understand how so many of the body's systems rely on the liver's steady presence. Without this constant balancing act, the fluctuations in glucose and energy would be stark and disruptive. But with the liver's gentle intervention, the body experiences a soft and steady continuity. As we come to the end of this quiet exploration of the liver's role in energy balance, you may find comfort in imagining this organ not as a busy processor of chemicals, but as a thoughtful caretaker, offering exactly what the body needs at every moment. Its ability to store, transform, and release energy mirrors the natural cycles of day and night, nourishment and rest, activity and stillness. The liver does not resist these cycles, it flows with them, guiding the body toward equilibrium with unwavering devotion. And as you rest in this understanding, you carry with you the knowledge that deep within your own body, a peaceful and patient organ is always working to keep your internal world steady and well. 7. Detoxification. Quiet, constant cleansing. In the calm interior of the body, where each organ contributes to your well-being with quiet dedication, the liver carries one of the most subtle yet essential responsibilities of all, the gentle cleansing of the bloodstream. This process, often called detoxification, might sound dramatic or intense, but within the body it unfolds with remarkable softness. There is no sense of urgency or disruption, no forceful purge or pronounced sensation. Instead, the detoxification carried out by the liver resembles a continuous whisper of refinement, a peaceful and unending act of maintenance that ensures the internal environment remains balanced, safe, and clear, much like the body itself aims to maintain homeostasis. A steady internal condition, the liver's detoxifying role supports this equilibrium with admirable patience. It receives what the bloodstream brings, assesses each molecule with quiet discernment, and responds only in ways that sustain harmony. To enter this gentle landscape, imagine the bloodstream as a soft, slow-moving current carrying nutrients, hormones, and various byproducts from all parts of the body. Among these are substances that can serve the body well, but there are also molecules that need to be altered, neutralized, or prepared for safe removal. Some may originate from natural metabolic processes, small chemical shifts that occur during movement, digestion, thought, and rest. Others may come from foods, medications, or environmental exposures. Rather than rejecting these elements or reacting harshly, the liver receives them with the same quiet steadiness it shows in every task. It begins by transforming them in stepwise processes, converting reactive substances into more stable forms and ensuring that, by the time they leave its tissues, they are no longer a source of imbalance. Inside the liver, enzymes become participants in this soft choreography. These enzymes, which are chemical catalysts made from proteins, gently guide reactions along pathways that lead toward reduced toxicity. They do not force change. Rather, they create conditions that allow molecules to shift calmly into new forms. In the first phase of detoxification, substances are modified in ways that make them more ready for the next steps. These modifications may introduce small changes to a molecule's shape or reactivity, encouraging it to become more soluble or easier for the body to handle. Then, in the second phase, the liver completes the detoxification by attaching additional chemical groups to these molecules, giving them the properties necessary to be safely dissolved in water or transported to the kidneys or intestines. Though this process is complex on a biochemical level, its cumulative effect is gentle, continuous, and profoundly stabilizing. As you imagine these transformations happening within the liver, it becomes clearer that detoxification is not a dramatic event but a peaceful cycle, happening every moment without rest. Even when the body sleeps, the liver stays awake in its quiet way, tending to substances that need attention. The calm flow of blood through the liver's sinusoids, those tiny channels that wind through its tissue, creates the perfect environment for this cleansing to unfold. Blood moves slowly enough for enzymes and cells to interact with its contents, but smoothly enough to avoid any sense of stagnation. This slow, steady pace allows each molecule to be processed with care, ensuring that the liver's delicate balance is maintained. Some of the liver's cells, such as Kupffer cells, contribute to detoxification through a softer form of cleansing. These specialized immune cells reside within the liver's sinusoids and gently remove unwanted particles, including bacteria that may have entered the bloodstream from the digestive tract. Their method is not forceful but deliberate, taking in what does not belong and ensuring that only clean, balanced blood continues its journey. This action is part of the liver's close connection to the immune system, reflecting again how many roles flow quietly through this one organ. Another aspect of detoxification involves the liver's management of ammonia, a naturally occurring byproduct of protein metabolism. Ammonia, while normal in small amounts, must be handled with care to prevent imbalance. The liver transforms it into urea, a far gentler and safer substance that can be carried away by the bloodstream and excreted by the kidneys. You may imagine this transformation as a comforting gesture, turning something potentially sharp or disruptive into something soft and manageable. It is yet another reminder of the liver's devotion to maintaining equilibrium, always stepping in to convert, neutralize, and soften substances that could otherwise disturb the internal environment. Because the liver is so engaged in maintaining the chemical stability of the body, its detoxification role extends to hormones as well. Hormones are powerful chemical messengers that influence everything from energy to mood to digestion. When their work is complete, they must be cleared from the bloodstream to make room for new signals. The liver gently breaks down these hormones, ensuring that their lingering presence does not disrupt the body's natural cycles. In this way, detoxification merges seamlessly with endocrine regulation, demonstrating how interconnected these systems truly are. The liver does not simply remove substances, it helps create the conditions that allow the body to function smoothly, responding to change with subtle adjustments rather than abrupt reactions. It is soothing to recognize that detoxification is not an emergency process, but a quiet, ongoing one. There is no moment in which the liver is idle. Even during rest, even during sleep, it continues to cleanse and balance the bloodstream. Its work is gradual, constant, and unassuming. And while detoxification may sound like something sharp or sudden, in the body it is as calm as the slow drifting of clouds across a sky. The liver's role is not to purge, but to refine, not to force, but to guide, not to strain, but to maintain peaceful order within. If you picture the liver in this way, as an organ that gently filters and transforms, you may begin to feel a deeper sense of ease about the complexity of the body. Everything within you is supported by processes that value balance above all else, processes that unfold at the perfect pace, without abruptness or tension. The liver's detoxification pathways are part of this broader design, an intricate, harmonious system of cleansing that supports life with soft persistence. As this part draws to a quiet close, imagine the liver continuing its work with the same patience that has carried you through your life thus far. The bloodstream moves softly through its tissue. Enzymes carry out their transformations with care. Unwanted substances are eased out of circulation, and the body remains in a state of gentle alignment. Even as you rest or drift toward sleep, the liver is there. 8 Fat metabolism and the liver's balancing rhythm in the quiet inner world of the body, where every organ contributes in its own unique and gentle way. The liver plays a deeply calming role in the handling of fats and lipids. Even though the word fat often carries modern connotations that feel sharp or complicated, inside the body its story is soft, essential, and entirely natural. Fats are simply another form of energy, another way the body stores and carries nourishment forward, another material woven into the ongoing rhythm of life. The liver, in its patient and attentive manner, guides this process with the same tranquility it brings to all of its responsibilities. In this part of the journey, we drift slowly into the way the liver manages fats, how it absorbs them, transforms them, stores them, and releases them again with gentle precision. These processes may be complex, but their effect is a soothing assurance that the body maintains balance even as its needs shift from hour to hour. When you eat a meal that contains fats, the digestive system breaks those fats into smaller components, such as fatty acids and glycerol. These are absorbed by the intestines and then woven into transport particles that carry them through the bloodstream. Some of these particles travel directly to body tissues, but many make their way to the liver, where a deeper and more refined process begins. The liver does not react with haste or judgment. Instead, it receives these particles as it receives everything else calmly and with a sort of internal patience. Here, it begins to decide how these fats will be used. Some will be broken down for immediate energy. Some will be converted into new forms that can circulate smoothly through the bloodstream. Others will be stored quietly within liver cells until the body calls upon them during moments of need. Each of these actions helps maintain balance, ensuring that no sudden rise or fall in fat levels disturbs the body's equilibrium. Inside the liver, fat metabolism unfolds in 2 gentle but essential directions. This process begins when the body's immediate glucose supply begins to fall or when energy demands increase, perhaps through movement, concentration, or long hours without eating. The liver senses these shifts not through dramatic signals but through the subtle chemistry of the blood. In response, it begins to break down fatty acids, gradually releasing their stored energy in small, manageable amounts. In longer periods without food, such as overnight or during extended rest, the liver may convert fatty acids into ketone bodies, which provide a steady stream of fuel for the brain and other tissues. This transition is calm and natural, not a crisis, but a gentle shifting from one form of nourishment to another, demonstrating the body's ability to adapt gracefully to changing circumstances. The second direction of fat metabolism involves the creation and distribution of lipids. The liver helps synthesize triglycerides, cholesterol, and phospholipids, 3 components essential for building cell membranes, storing energy, and transporting nutrients through the bloodstream. Cholesterol, often misunderstood, plays many important roles in the body. It becomes part of every cell membrane, helping maintain the softness and flexibility of living tissue. It provides the foundation for hormones that guide growth, digestion, and internal rhythms, and it supports the creation of bile acids, which the liver produces to help break down fats during digestion. The liver crafts cholesterol with the same quiet attentiveness it applies to all of its tasks, keeping its levels balanced so that the body has enough but not too much. This soft internal regulation reflects the deeper truth that the body does not treat fats as enemies, but as essential materials for life's ongoing harmony. One of the most soothing aspects of fat metabolism is the liver's ability to store and release energy over time. When meals provide more energy than the body immediately needs, the liver converts the excess into triglycerides and stores them gently. These reserves remain ready for future use. resting quietly within liver tissue or being sent to other areas of the body where additional storage is needed. Later, when energy levels begin to fall, or when blood sugar drops between meals, these stored fats provide a slow and steady supply of nourishment. This pattern mirrors the rhythms of nature, periods of gathering followed by periods of gentle release, times of fullness balanced by times of use. The liver maintains this cycle without strain, responding gradually rather than abruptly, always working to preserve the soft continuity of the body's energy landscape. Fat metabolism is also closely connected to the liver's role in detoxification and hormone regulation. Many hormones that influence appetite, metabolism, and energy storage pass through the liver, and the liver responds by adjusting its handling of fats. For example, insulin encourages the liver to store more energy after eating, while other hormones signal the liver to release that energy during fasting or activity. These communications form a quiet dialogue between the endocrine and metabolic systems, demonstrating once again how deeply intertwined the body's processes truly are. The liver listens to these hormonal cues with patience, adjusting its work softly so that the internal environment remains balanced. As fats travel through the bloodstream, the liver also helps package them into lipoproteins, gentle carriers that distribute fatty materials to cells throughout the body. These carriers ensure that fats move smoothly without overwhelming the bloodstream. Some lipoproteins bring fats outward from the liver to other tissues, while others bring them back for further processing. This exchange feels like a quiet conversation between tissues, each receiving or returning what it needs. Nothing is wasted, nothing is ignored. Every molecule finds its place through the liver's steady guidance. It is calming to realize how fluid and adaptable the liver's involvement in fat metabolism truly is. Rather than treating fats in a rigid or uniform way, the liver responds to the moment's needs. When energy is abundant, it stores. When energy is scarce, it releases. When the body demands repair, it crafts the lipids needed for cell membranes. When hormones shift, it adjusts. All of these transformations happen with a deep gentleness, maintaining the internal stability the body depends on. This adaptability reflects a core principle found throughout biology: the relationship between structure and function, the way the shape of an organ and the pathways within it allow it to perform its tasks with natural ease. As you allow this understanding to settle, you may begin to feel a sense of trust in this internal process. The liver manages fats, not through force, but through calm responsiveness. It holds energy when the body is full, and it shares energy when the body grows quiet or hungry. It transforms what is taken in through meals into forms that help sustain life, all with a sense of patience that mirrors the body's broader commitment to homeostasis. The liver never rushes. It never pauses. It never acts with abruptness. It simply continues its balancing rhythm, serving as a gentle steward of energy and nourishment. As Part 8 comes to a restful close, you may sense more clearly how the liver participates in the body's quiet cycles of nourishment and use, fullness and release, storage and flow. This soft, ongoing dance allows you to move through your days with steady energy, supported by an organ that understands the body's shifting needs and responds with timeless calm. 9. Protein assembly and the liver's quiet craftsmanship. Within the gentle rhythm of the body, proteins take on roles that are both foundational and endlessly varied. They form the structures that support living tissue. They act as enzymes, guiding biochemical reactions. They help transport molecules, and they participate in communication between cells. Every thought, every movement, every breath relies on the presence and balance of these proteins. It is comforting, then, to understand that one of the body's most peaceful organs, the liver, plays a central role in shaping and managing these essential molecules. Its involvement in protein metabolism is not loud or forceful but soft. Through careful transformation, assembly, and recycling, the liver ensures that the internal environment remains well supplied with the building blocks of life. even as the body's needs shift from hour to hour. And much like its other responsibilities, the liver performs this work with a quiet craftsmanship that unfolds smoothly behind the scenes. To imagine how the liver participates in protein metabolism, it helps to picture the bloodstream as a calm river carrying amino acids, the small, delicate units that form proteins to the liver after they have been absorbed in the digestive tract. These amino acids travel through the portal vein, arriving at the liver in a gentle flow that follows every meal. The liver receives them not with urgency, but with thoughtful attentiveness, recognizing that each amino acid holds potential. Some will be combined into new proteins. Others will serve as ingredients for hormones, enzymes, or nitrogen-containing molecules. The liver evaluates these incoming amino acids and begins to decide, quietly and efficiently, how best to use them to maintain the body's internal balance. One of the liver's most calming roles in protein metabolism is its creation of plasma proteins, those proteins that circulate through the bloodstream and perform essential functions without drawing attention to themselves. Among these are albumin, clotting factors, and transport proteins. Albumin, which is produced in steady amounts by the liver, helps maintain the fluid balance between blood vessels and surrounding tissues. Without albumin's continuous presence, fluid would drift too easily out of the bloodstream, leading to swelling and imbalance. Instead, the liver ensures that albumin levels remain steady, providing a sort of gentle anchor that keeps fluids in the right place. Clotting factors, also crafted by the liver, help the blood respond appropriately when a vessel is injured. They do not force the body into action. They simply wait, ready to support healing with measured precision when needed. These proteins support the body in ways that are subtle but essential. They act like calm carriers, guiding their passengers softly to their destinations. The liver continuously creates and releases these transport proteins, ensuring that nutrients are available where they are needed and that delicate substances travel safely through the circulatory system. Each of these proteins is crafted with purpose, shaped by the liver's attentive work to maintain equilibrium throughout the body. Amino acids that are not used immediately for building proteins can be transformed in other gentle ways. The liver has the ability to convert amino acids into glucose through a process that supports energy balance, particularly during fasting or prolonged activity. This transformation, known as gluconeogenesis, is one of the ways the liver ensures that the body remains nourished even when no food is entering the digestive system. It takes the potential stored within amino acids and reshapes it into a form the body can use for fuel, providing a steady supply of energy to the brain and muscles. This flexibility, this ability to shift molecules from one purpose to another, reflects the liver's remarkable adaptability, its constant awareness of the body's needs, and its willingness to meet those needs with calm responsiveness. The liver also plays a gentle role in removing nitrogen, a natural byproduct of amino acid metabolism. When proteins are broken down, they release nitrogen in the form of ammonia. Although ammonia is a normal part of metabolic processes, it must be handled with care to prevent imbalance. The liver transforms ammonia into urea, a much safer and more stable compound, through a process known as the urea cycle. The urea then travels through the bloodstream to the kidneys, where it is removed from the body. This transformation is a perfect example of the liver's soft craftsmanship. It takes something potentially disruptive and shapes it into something gentle and harmless, allowing the internal environment to remain calm and balanced. The process is not abrupt. It is steady, reliable, and endlessly accommodating of the body's changing rhythms. One of the most soothing aspects of protein metabolism is the liver's role in recycling. Proteins throughout the body are constantly being broken down and rebuilt, a cycle that mirrors the natural patterns found everywhere in nature. Just as leaves fall and new ones grow, proteins are continually renewed. When old or damaged proteins are broken down, their amino acids return to the bloodstream and make their way back to the liver. The liver receives them like familiar materials returning to a workshop, ready to be reshaped. It sorts them, reuses them, and incorporates them into new structures or pathways, ensuring that every molecule continues to serve the body in some form. This cycle of renewal is gentle and reassuring, reminding us that nothing within the body's inner world is ever static. Everything is in quiet motion, supporting life with soft persistence. Even the relationship between the liver and hormones touches protein metabolism. Many hormones are themselves proteins, or rely on protein carriers to move through the bloodstream. The liver assists in clearing hormones that have completed their tasks, breaking them down so new signals can take their place. In this way, protein metabolism becomes intertwined with the body's endocrine balance, further demonstrating how interconnected the liver is with every system. These overlapping roles do not create confusion. Instead, they form a peaceful network of interactions that reinforce one another, each supporting the body's search for steady internal alignment. As you imagine these processes unfolding within you, the liver's role in protein metabolism may begin to feel like the quiet work of an artisan carefully measuring, shaping, and renewing the materials of life. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is wasted. Every transformation is carried out with attention to the body's greater harmony. Whether crafting new proteins, breaking down old ones, converting amino acids into glucose, or gently removing ammonia, the liver manages these responsibilities with uninterrupted calm. This soft craftsmanship reflects a deeper truth about the body, that the processes sustaining life do not feel frantic or chaotic, but instead resemble the slow, steady rhythm of a peaceful natural cycle. As Part 9 comes to a gentle close, you may carry with you a sense of ease in knowing that the liver's partnership with proteins is constant, thoughtful, and grounded in quiet precision. The bloodstream flows, amino acids arrive, molecules transform, and the internal environment remains balanced, all through the work of an organ that supports you tirelessly, even as you rest. 10. The making, storing, and release of bile. Within the tranquil landscape of the liver's many responsibilities, the creation of bile unfolds with the same quiet grace that shapes all of its work. Bile is one of the liver's most ancient gifts to the digestive system, a substance both simple and intricate, formed not through force but through the soft, continuous rhythms of cellular activity. It moves through the body in silence, helping to break down fats, carrying away waste products, and forming a gentle bridge between what the liver creates and what the digestive tract requires. As we step deeper into this soothing journey, it can be comforting to picture bile as a calm, amber-colored current, produced patiently and delivered at precisely the right moments, always in harmony with the body's needs. The formation of bile begins within the hepatocytes, the primary working cells of the liver. Each hepatocyte participates in the crafting of this fluid, gathering ingredients from within the bloodstream and assembling them with a quiet intelligence that has been refined across millions of years of evolution. The molecules that make up bile include bile salts, cholesterol, bilirubin, and water, each contributing its own gentle qualities to the final fluid. These ingredients drift toward the hepatocytes through the slow-moving blood that passes through the liver's sinusoids, and the cells receive them with the same calm attentiveness they bring to all metabolic tasks. There is no urgency in their work. The creation of bile is steady, unhurried, and suited to the body's natural rhythms. Once formed, bile begins its soft journey through a delicate network of tiny channels known as canaliculi. These canaliculi are so small and numerous that they resemble fine threads woven into the liver's structure, guiding bile outward with gentle, continuous motion. As bile flows through these narrow spaces, it gathers into larger ducts, merging slowly and naturally, much like small streams joining into a wider river. The movement is smooth, creating no turbulence within the liver. Instead, it offers a sense of calm organization, a quiet progression from creation to storage. Eventually, this flowing bile reaches the common hepatic duct, where it is offered two paths. Some of it will continue directly into the small intestine, participating immediately in digestion, but much of it takes a peaceful detour into the gallbladder, a small, pear-shaped organ nestled against the underside of the liver. The gallbladder acts as a resting place for bile, storing it gently until the body needs assistance breaking down dietary fats. Here, bile becomes concentrated, not through harsh reduction, but through a slow, natural process in which the gallbladder absorbs some of its water content. This concentration enhances bile's effectiveness without altering its essential gentleness. The gallbladder waits patiently, holding bile in reserve until it receives a signal from the digestive system. When food containing fats arrives in the small intestine, the body releases a hormone that tells the gallbladder it is time to contract. Even this contraction is not forceful or abrupt. It is a soft squeezing that gradually sends bile flowing into the bile ducts and onward into the intestine. There, bile mixes with the partially digested food, breaking fats into smaller droplets in a process that allows enzymes to work more effectively. This action, called emulsification, is one of the most important ways bile supports digestion. It transforms large, unwieldy fat molecules into forms that can be absorbed quietly and efficiently through the intestinal walls. The presence of bile in the digestive tract also helps carry away substances the body no longer needs. Bilirubin, a pigment formed when old red blood cells are broken down, is one of these materials. The liver gently incorporates bilirubin into bile, allowing it to leave the body through the intestines in a manner that is both natural and harmonious. Cholesterol, too, can be removed through bile when present in excess. This dual role assisting digestion while supporting the removal of waste makes bile a soft but essential link between the liver and the digestive system. The movement of bile is deeply connected to the liver's broader metabolic responsibilities. When the liver produces bile salts, it uses cholesterol as a starting point. This not only enables digestion but also helps regulate cholesterol levels within the body. In this way, bile production becomes part of the liver's continuous balancing act, touching upon fat metabolism, nutrient absorption, and detoxification all at once. Even though each of these processes is complex, the liver merges them seamlessly, ensuring that the internal environment remains stable and well-nourished. If you imagine the liver as a quiet workshop, bile production feels like one of its most soothing crafts. The hepatocytes do not rush. They gather materials, combine them gently, and send them forward on a peaceful journey. The gallbladder becomes a patient custodian, storing this fluid until the right moment arrives, and the digestive system receives it with a kind of mutual understanding, welcoming bile into the process of nourishing the body. Everything happens in a rhythm shaped not by urgency but by timing, by need, and by the rhythm of digestion itself. Sometimes, bile travels slowly through the ducts, simply waiting for the next meal, circulating gently, without interruption. Other times, it flows more readily, guided into the intestine by the body's hormonal signals. But always, the movement is natural and controlled. Even when bile is not actively needed for digestion, its creation continues. The liver does not pause or hesitate. It performs its work with quiet consistency, trusting that the body will use what it needs and store what it does not. This trust is a reminder of the deep cooperation that defines all physiological systems, where each organ follows its own rhythm, yet remains connected to the whole. As Part 10 draws to its soft conclusion, it becomes clear how elegantly the liver contributes to digestion through bile. This fluid, crafted with care and delivered with patience, symbolizes the gentle harmony within the body. It supports the breakdown of fats, assists in the removal of waste, helps regulate cholesterol, and participates in a cycle of storage and release that mirrors the body's natural ebb and flow. When you picture this quiet movement, bile forming, flowing, resting, and finally assisting in digestion, you may feel a deeper sense of appreciation for the subtle intelligence that guides the liver's work. 11. Regeneration. the liver's remarkable resilience. In the calm interior of the human body, where tissues grow, repair, and replenish themselves at their own quiet pace, the liver possesses a quality so gentle yet so extraordinary that it seems almost like a whispered secret of biology. This quality is its ability to regenerate, a form of renewal that unfolds softly, deliberately, and without the sense of urgency that often accompanies the idea of healing. While many organs can mend small injuries or replace limited amounts of damaged tissue, the liver is unique in its capacity to restore itself in a far more complete and graceful way. Even when part of it is lost or impaired, the remaining tissue responds with a quiet determination, gradually recreating what is needed until balance is restored again. In this part of our journey, we drift into the serene world of liver regeneration, observing how the body supports this process and how it fits harmoniously into the greater landscape of homeostasis. Imagine the liver as a sprawling garden of cells, hepatocytes, the primary workers within this organ, arranged in delicate repeating patterns. Under normal circumstances, these cells go about their tasks steadily, processing nutrients, balancing chemicals, and cleansing the bloodstream. They do not divide rapidly or chaotically. Instead, they remain calm, living long lives, and participating in the liver's everyday labor. But when the organ experiences injury or loss, however mild or significant, this tranquil community of cells responds with remarkable poise. The hepatocytes enter a state of renewed activity, beginning to multiply not out of alarm but from a deep understanding of the body's need for restoration. Their growth is measured, coordinated, and graceful, as though the liver knows exactly how much tissue to replace, no more, no less. This regenerative process is guided by a quiet dialogue between cells, blood vessels, and signaling molecules. Growth factors, carried in the gentle flow of blood, reach the liver and communicate the need for renewal. These signals do not shout, they murmur. Hepatocytes, upon receiving them, begin to divide, filling in areas where tissue has been lost. Even the structure of the liver's sinusoids, the small channels through which blood flows, helps guide this regeneration, offering a supportive scaffold that allows new cells to settle into their proper places. The entire organ behaves like a community, restoring its harmony after a disturbance, each part contributing in its own small way to the rebuilding of the whole. The remarkable aspect of liver regeneration is that it does not require a blueprint in the way human constructions do. The liver simply remembers its shape, its size, and its internal architecture. As new hepatocytes grow, they align themselves into lobules and sinusoids, forming the same repeating patterns that existed before. The organ restores not only its mass, but also its function, ensuring that all its responsibilities, detoxification, metabolism, protein synthesis, bile production, continue with minimal interruption. This is one of the reasons the liver is able to support the body so consistently throughout life. Even when faced with challenges, it does not collapse under strain, but instead responds with a gentle resilience built into its very nature. Regeneration, however, is not only a response to injury. With so many biochemical reactions happening inside it, breaking down toxins, processing nutrients, renewing proteins, the cells of the liver naturally experience wear. But rather than allowing this wear to accumulate, the liver quietly replaces old or tired cells with new ones. This turnover is subtle, continuous, and perfectly balanced. It resembles a soft breeze passing through the branches of a tree, shifting leaves only when necessary, leaving the overall structure unchanged. This steady renewal supports the liver's ability to function smoothly over the decades of a human life, adapting to changes in diet, environment, and internal needs. To fully appreciate this regenerative ability, it is helpful to imagine how deeply connected the liver is to the rest of the body, because it participates in so many systems: digestive, circulatory, endocrine, metabolic, Any disruption to its function would ripple outward, but regeneration allows the liver to maintain stable support even under changing circumstances. When nutrients fluctuate, when hormones shift, when toxins appear, the liver continues to respond with continuity. Its ability to rebuild itself ensures that it remains strong enough to carry out these roles without faltering. The body relies on this quiet constancy in countless ways, most of which unfold beyond conscious awareness. As new hepatocytes form, they carry with them not a sense of replacement but a sense of returning to harmony. They integrate themselves into the liver's tissue, much like new threads woven seamlessly into a familiar fabric. The surrounding cells accept them gently, guiding them into their roles. And as each area of the liver is restored, the organ's functions grow steadier again, as though a soft internal voice is reminding the body that it is safe, balanced, and whole. The regeneration process continues only as long as necessary. When the liver senses that its size and function have returned to their natural state, it gracefully slows its renewal, returning to its calmer rhythm of everyday activity. Even the way blood supports regenerative growth carries a sense of soft coordination. The portal vein and hepatic artery continue to bring nutrients and oxygen, nurturing the tissues as they rebuild. The gentle movement of the diaphragm assists in maintaining blood flow, much like a comforting hand supporting the process. Every part of the body helps in small ways, forming a collaborative environment in which regeneration happens not through force, but through cooperation. As you imagine these quiet processes unfolding, you may sense how deeply the liver's regenerative capacity contributes to your inner sense of equilibrium. It provides reassurance that the body has built-in wisdom, a natural ability to restore what has been lost and to maintain harmony even through change. It is a reminder that healing does not always need to be dramatic. Often it is slow, steady, and understated, unfolding in ways that feel almost like gentle tides rising and falling in the background of life. As Part 11 draws softly to a close, allow yourself to rest in the comfort of knowing that within you lies an organ capable of continual renewal, an organ that endures, adapts, and restores itself with quiet strength. 12. Long-term storage of vitamins and minerals. Deep within the quiet interior of the liver, where countless gentle processes unfold with rhythmic consistency, there exists a particularly soothing role that the organ fills with both care and patience. This is its ability to store essential vitamins and minerals, nutrients that the body needs, not in a single moment alone, but across days, weeks, and sometimes even years. These stored substances serve as a soft reserve, a kind of internal pantry that the liver maintains with quiet awareness of the body's future needs. Much like a thoughtful caretaker who keeps supplies tucked safely away for times when they will be needed most, the liver organizes and safeguards these vital nutrients with deliberate calm. In this part of our journey, we drift into the peaceful world of nutrient storage, exploring how the liver holds, protects, and releases vitamins and minerals in a way that supports long-term balance within the body. To begin, it is helpful to imagine the liver not just as a processing center, but as a gentle archive of nourishment. Vitamin A, for example, is one of the nutrients the liver keeps in generous supply. This vitamin supports vision, immune function, and the health of tissues throughout the body. Because the body does not use vitamin A at a rapid or constant pace, the liver stores it in soft, quiet clusters, allowing it to remain available whenever the body calls for it. These reserves can last for months, sometimes even longer, providing a steady foundation that prevents sudden shortages. The storage process itself is calm. Vitamin A settles into the liver's tissues without disrupting the organ's harmony, becoming part of its ongoing stewardship of internal well-being. Another of the liver's gifts is its role in storing vitamin D, a nutrient that supports bone health, immune balance, and the regulation of calcium. Vitamin D often enters the body in small amounts, through food or through the skin, as sunlight interacts with natural substances already present there. Once formed or absorbed, vitamin D often returns to the liver, where it rests quietly until the body requires more. Here, too, the liver behaves with patient wisdom. It keeps enough vitamin D available to support the mineralization of bones and the stability of calcium levels, but it never releases it hastily. Instead, the body's needs guide the timing. When the body senses a change in calcium balance, hormones gently signal the liver and other organs to coordinate the activation and release of this vitamin. The process resembles a chain of soft interactions, each step quiet, each contribution subtle, each movement directed toward equilibrium rather than urgency. Vitamins E and K also find a home within the liver. Vitamin E, known for its soothing antioxidant properties, is stored as a protective reserve that helps maintain the stability of cell membranes throughout the body. Though it works behind the scenes, vitamin E contributes to the preservation of tissues, calming oxidative stress in a way that feels almost like a soft shield. The liver keeps this vitamin in a gentle balance, allowing enough to circulate for immediate use while holding the rest in quiet readiness. Vitamin K, by contrast, has a more focused role in supporting the body's clotting processes. Its presence ensures that when a blood vessel is gently disturbed, perhaps through a small scratch or the natural wear of movement, the body can respond smoothly and appropriately. The liver receives, stores, and utilizes vitamin K as part of its ongoing partnership with the circulatory system, producing the clotting factors that rely on this nutrient. In doing so, it demonstrates once again how closely its responsibilities are interwoven with the needs of other systems. Perhaps one of the most remarkable examples of the liver's long-term care is its storage of vitamin B12. This vitamin supports the formation of red blood cells, the health of nerve tissues, and the function of many metabolic pathways. Unlike many other vitamins, B12 is needed in very small amounts, and the liver's storage of it is extraordinarily efficient. Some people hold enough B12 in their liver to supply their bodies for several years. You might imagine these reserves as small, quiet pockets of energy and nourishment tucked deep within the liver's tissues, present, patient, and ready to serve whenever the body sends the gentle signal that more is required. This remarkable capacity ensures stability even during times when dietary intake is low, giving the body a sense of continuity that extends far beyond daily meals. Alongside vitamins, the liver also stores important minerals, with iron being one of the most notable. Iron is essential for producing hemoglobin, the molecule that allows red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout the body. Because iron must be available in just the right amount, not too much, not too little, the liver acts as a kind of balancing reservoir. It stores iron gently within specialized proteins, releasing it slowly when the bone marrow needs more for creating new red blood cells. This careful regulation allows the body to maintain oxygen transport without strain. It prevents fluctuations that might disturb equilibrium, ensuring that tissues receive the oxygen they need while keeping iron levels within a safe and comfortable range. In this way, the liver once again demonstrates its quiet influence on systems beyond its immediate borders. Copper, another mineral stored by the liver, and the function of certain enzymes. The liver holds copper with a similar sense of delicate balance. Instead, it waits, sensing the body's needs through subtle shifts in blood chemistry, and provides the mineral when it supports broader physiological harmony. The storage of minerals like iron and copper reflects the liver's careful stewardship, its awareness of the body's long-term requirements, and its willingness to support those needs through soft, measured release. All of these storage functions illustrate something profound about the nature of the liver. It is an organ deeply attuned to time. While some of its responsibilities, such as managing blood sugar or processing toxins, occur moment by moment, it is a reminder that the liver not only supports the body in the present but prepares it for future moments, ensuring that nourishment is available even when external conditions change. The organ's architecture and biochemistry work together to create a sanctuary for these nutrients, allowing them to rest quietly until the body needs them again. There is something soothing about knowing that, deep within you, as the body moves through cycles of activity, rest, nourishment, and fasting, the liver adjusts its handling of these vitamins and minerals with a calm sensitivity. It does not release them suddenly or in overwhelming amounts. Instead, it releases them gradually, in response to biological signals that reflect the body's needs. This slow and thoughtful distribution maintains homeostasis, the steady internal balance that allows the body to function smoothly and comfortably. As Part 12 comes to a gentle close, you may picture the liver as a quiet guardian of nutrients, a place where vitamins and minerals are gathered peacefully, held softly, and given back to the body with steady generosity. Its ability to store these essential substances reflects its broader role as a steward of balance, continuity, and long-term well-being. 13. The liver and hormone balance. In the quiet internal world where the organs communicate through signals too soft to ever be consciously felt, the liver plays a deeply calming role in maintaining hormone balance. Hormones themselves move like gentle messengers through the bloodstream, carrying instructions that guide growth, metabolism, appetite, and countless other rhythms that shape daily life. Their influence is subtle but powerful, and their proper balance is essential for the body's internal harmony. While many glands produce these hormones, the liver, with its patient and steady nature, helps maintain equilibrium by transforming, activating, deactivating, and clearing these chemical signals at the perfect pace. To drift into the liver's world of hormonal regulation is to witness a quiet dialogue, one carried not by words but by molecules, and sustained by the liver's unwavering devotion to homeostasis. When hormones enter the bloodstream, they do so with a purpose. Some stimulate digestion, others encourage the storage or release of energy, and still others influence mood or prepare the body for rest. But once a hormone has performed its task, it must be gently removed or modified so that the body does not receive overlapping or conflicting signals. This is where the liver steps forward with its soft, steady craftsmanship. The liver processes hormones in a way that feels like a whisper rather than a command. It does not forcefully purge them from circulation. Instead, it guides them through the natural pathways of transformation, making sure each signal fades at the right moment, leaving space for new ones to arise. One of the liver's quietest roles is the inactivation of hormones that have completed their work. Hormones, such as insulin, glucagon, thyroid hormones, and steroid hormones, all pass through the liver, where they may undergo gentle modifications that either reduce their activity or prepare them for excretion. This process unfolds through the same enzymatic pathways that support detoxification, reflecting how interconnected the liver's tasks truly are. Enzymes act like calm mediators, adjusting the shapes of hormone molecules so they no longer carry their original message. The liver then binds these modified hormones to other molecules, making them easier for the kidneys or digestive system to remove. This slow and steady clearing prevents signals from lingering too long and preserves the delicate cadence of the body's communication network. At the same time, the liver also participates in the activation of certain hormones. Some hormones circulate in inactive or partially active forms, waiting for the liver to convert them into their full expression. Thyroid hormones provide one gentle example. The thyroid gland releases a hormone called thyroxine, or T4, which is more of a quiet precursor than a fully active signal. The liver helps convert some of this T4 into triiodothyronine, or T3, a more active hormone that softly guides metabolism in tissues throughout the body. This conversion does not occur in a sudden or dramatic way. It happens gradually, in alignment with the body's needs. Through this delicate transformation, the liver helps maintain the metabolic rhythm that sustains warmth, energy, and internal stability. The liver's connection to hormone balance extends into the world of steroid hormones as well, hormones that influence stress responses, salt balance, reproduction, and mood. Cortisol, for instance, which rises during periods of physical or emotional stress, must be regulated carefully. Too much cortisol, lingering in the blood could disturb the body's gentle equilibrium. The liver gradually breaks down cortisol into calmer forms, ensuring that once the stressor has passed, the internal environment can return to a state of softness and rest. This quiet moderation helps prevent hormonal signals from overshadowing one another and supports the body's ability to shift peacefully between states of alertness and relaxation. Sex hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone also flow through the liver, where they are modified and cleared in thoughtful, measured steps. These hormones play vital roles in reproductive health, but they also influence bone strength, emotional balance, appetite, and the distribution of energy. Their proper regulation is therefore essential for overall well-being. The liver manages their levels with gentle precision, transforming them when needed, binding them to proteins for transport, and eventually preparing them for elimination. Without this careful work, their signals could become too strong or too weak. Instead, the liver ensures that they arrive and fade with appropriate timing, supporting the body's internal cycles without disrupting the calmness that surrounds them. Transport proteins, which the liver produces, also contribute to hormone balance. Many hormones must travel through the bloodstream attached to these proteins, which help maintain steady, gradual release into tissues. These carriers, crafted within the liver, serve as quiet guardians that prevent hormones from acting too quickly or dissipating too soon. They provide a buffering effect that smooths the hormonal landscape, keeping levels within a comfortable range and preventing abrupt fluctuations. This is yet another example of how the liver's craftsmanship supports the body through both direct and indirect pathways. As hormones influence the liver responds in kind, creating a gentle reciprocal relationship. Insulin, for example, encourages the liver to store glucose after a meal, while glucagon signals it to release stored glucose during fasting. Cortisol subtly shifts the liver's metabolism during times of heightened alertness. Thyroid hormones guide its rate of energy use. These interactions show that the liver is not only a regulator of hormones, but also a thoughtful recipient of their messages. It listens attentively, adjusting its processes with calm responsiveness, so that the wider body remains balanced. Imagining these processes may create a sense of peaceful interdependence within your own body. Hormones drift through the bloodstream like soft currents, delivering messages, fulfilling their purpose, and then gently fading under the liver's soothing influence. Nothing in this system is abrupt. Each transition is intentional. Each signal is shaped by timing, sensitivity, and subtle communication. The liver ensures that the hormonal world remains rhythmic rather than chaotic, allowing the body to maintain its natural cycles of wakefulness and rest, nourishment and fasting, alertness and tranquility. As you rest in this understanding, it may feel comforting to realize how much of your internal sense of steadiness depends on these quiet interactions. Hormone balance is not something the conscious mind manages. It is entrusted to the patient work of organs like the liver, which handle their roles without ever disturbing the serenity of your awareness. This invisible harmony reflects the deeper unity of the body, where each system supports the others in ways that feel effortless because they are so deeply coordinated. 14. The immune functions within the liver. Deep within the calm landscape of the liver, where blood flows slowly through delicate channels and cells work in quiet harmony, an often unnoticed dimension of protection unfolds. This protection is not loud or aggressive, nor does it resemble the dramatic imagery often associated with immunity. Instead, it takes the form of gentle vigilance, an attentive, constant watchfulness that preserves internal balance with soft precision. The liver, though known for its roles in metabolism and detoxification, its structure and position give it a unique vantage point, allowing it to observe and respond to what enters the bloodstream, especially from the digestive tract. Through this subtle and continuous awareness, the liver becomes a sanctuary where immunity and metabolism blend into one peaceful current, shaping a safe internal space for the body to thrive. To understand this gentle form of protection, imagine the journey of blood as it arrives from the digestive organs through the portal vein. This blood carries nutrients, but it may also carry fragments from the outside world, tiny particles of food, traces of microbes, or subtle byproducts of digestion. Rather than allowing these elements to travel freely throughout the body, the liver becomes their first resting place. It greets them with a quiet attentiveness born from its evolutionary role as the body's early protector against what might come in through eating. In this way, the liver serves as a kind of internal gatekeeper. It does not raise alarms. It simply examines, filters, and softly refines what passes through, ensuring that anything entering the wider bloodstream supports homeostasis rather than disrupting it. One of the liver's most soothing participants in this immune partnership is the Kupffer cell. These cells live along the walls of the liver's sinusoids, the gentle channels through which portal blood flows, and they move with unhurried purpose. Their role is not unlike that of a quiet caretaker who tidies a room without drawing attention. Kupffer cells absorb and break down unwanted particles, such as aging red blood cells, bacteria, and cellular debris. Their work is calm and methodical. Rather than reacting with force, they envelop these particles gently, transforming them into harmless components that the body can process and release without strain. This quiet form of phagocytosis helps ensure that the bloodstream remains clean and that the immune system elsewhere in the body remains undisturbed by unnecessary signals. Another soft layer of immune function within the liver comes from the intimate relationship between hepatocytes and circulating antigens. Because the liver receives so much blood directly from the digestive system, it is uniquely positioned to encounter antigens, molecules from foods or microbes that require evaluation. The liver responds with tolerance more often than attack, guiding the immune system to differentiate between what is truly harmful and what is simply part of the body's natural interactions with the outside world. This capacity for immune tolerance protects the body from overreaction, preserving a peaceful balance that prevents inflammation from arising where it is not needed. In this way, the liver acts as a gentle teacher, helping the immune system learn the difference between danger and harmless presence. The liver also produces proteins that support the immune system's quiet readiness. Among these are complement proteins, which circulate in the bloodstream and assist the immune system by marking unwanted cells or particles for removal. The complement system does not work with intensity unless necessary. Instead, it remains in a soft state of preparedness, ready to respond if the body requires support. The liver's continuous creation of these proteins ensures that the immune system has the tools it needs to function smoothly, maintaining stability without resorting to abrupt or forceful responses. Through this partnership, the liver helps the immune system remain balanced, effective, and attuned to the body's overall sense of calm. The relationship between immunity and metabolism within the liver is also deeply interconnected. When toxins or pathogens appear, the liver not only activates immune processes, but also adjusts its metabolic pathways to protect the body. It may transform certain molecules more quickly, or produce additional proteins that help neutralize harmful substances. These shifts do not disturb the liver's gentle rhythm. They integrate seamlessly into its broader work, reflecting the organ's extraordinary adaptability. Everything folds together: the metabolic, the detoxifying, the immune-supporting, into a single, soft continuity that echoes through the body's internal world. Because of its constant exposure to substances from the digestive tract, the liver must balance vigilance with tolerance. Too much alertness would lead to inflammation. Too little would allow harmful microbes or toxins to escape into general circulation. The liver navigates this delicate path with remarkable grace. Kupffer cells and hepatocytes communicate subtly with one another, adjusting responses with care. When a particle poses no threat, the liver allows it to pass quietly into excretion pathways. When something requires attention, the liver responds with gentle containment, preserving the serenity of the bloodstream and shielding other organs from unnecessary disturbance. It is soothing to imagine this internal watchfulness occurring in silence, moment by moment, without ever rising to the level of conscious awareness. The liver's immune functions are not dramatic. They resemble a peaceful riverbank where debris is collected and cleared before the water continues on its way. The bloodstream flows on, purified and calm, carrying only what the body needs for nourishment and equilibrium. This ongoing cleansing supports all other organs, reducing the burden on the immune system and allowing the body to remain in a state of ease. As you breathe softly and follow this picture in your mind, you may begin to appreciate how seamlessly the liver blends protection with balance. Instead, it welcomes each new arrival with curiosity, responding only as much as is necessary to preserve harmony. Its immune functions mirror its metabolic ones, deliberate, patient, and aligned with the body's commitment to maintaining steady conditions. Even during rest, even during sleep, the liver continues its gentle watch, ensuring that the internal environment remains peaceful and trustworthy. 15. The liver's communication with other systems. Within the quiet harmony of the body, where each organ carries out its role with understated grace, the liver exists not as an isolated structure, but as a central participant in a soft and continuous dialogue. This conversation is not spoken, yet it shapes almost every aspect of internal balance. The liver communicates with other systems, digestive, circulatory, endocrine, lymphatic, and immune, not through abrupt signals or sharp responses, but through gentle shifts in chemistry, the release of molecules, the guidance of nutrients, and the subtle pacing of metabolic rhythms. To understand this communication is to feel how deeply interconnected the body truly is, and how the liver, in its calm, ever-present devotion to homeostasis, helps maintain equilibrium across this interconnected landscape. Imagine first the liver's quiet partnership with the digestive system. While digestion begins in the mouth and continues through the stomach and intestines, the liver remains a constant presence in the background, ready to support each stage. Nutrient-rich blood flows from the intestines into the portal vein, carrying with it the harvest of digestion. The liver receives this blood like a thoughtful listener, taking in sugars, amino acids, fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals, absorbing what needs transformation and allowing the rest to continue onward. This soft reception creates a sense of continuity within the digestive system. Nothing that enters the bloodstream from digestion escapes the liver's gentle evaluation, and yet the liver's influence flows in the other direction as well. Through the production of bile released from the gallbladder into the small intestine, the liver assists digestion from afar, helping emulsify fats and making them easier to absorb. The intestine, in turn, relies on this quiet contribution, creating a mutual exchange that supports the smooth absorption of nourishment. This communication continues through the circulatory system, where the liver acts almost like a calm central station within the vast network of vessels. Blood enters the liver carrying nutrients and leaves with its composition carefully balanced. When blood sugar shifts, the liver steps in, releasing or storing glucose to restore equilibrium. When amino acids are abundant, the liver decides how they will be used, whether for building proteins, storing energy, or being gently converted into other molecules the body needs. Even hormones traveling through the bloodstream are shaped by the liver's soft influence, with some being modified, others being deactivated, and still others bound to transport proteins created within the liver itself. This constant interaction shows how closely the liver and the circulatory system collaborate. The bloodstream carries messages and materials to the liver, and the liver quietly sends back a refined mixture that supports stability. Neither system works alone. Each exists in continual dialogue with the other. The endocrine system, too, forms a delicate partnership with the liver. Hormones released from the pancreas, thyroid, adrenal glands, and reproductive organs all pass through the liver, where their signals are moderated, transformed, or cleared when their work is done. Insulin and glucagon guide the liver's storage and release of glucose. Thyroid hormones influence metabolic pace. Cortisol gently shifts the liver's priorities during times of heightened alertness. Estrogen and other reproductive hormones are shaped and balanced through the liver's detoxification pathways. At the same time, the liver produces proteins that hormones depend upon for transport, allowing them to move slowly and steadily through the bloodstream. This reciprocal relationship creates a soft interplay where the liver both influences and responds to hormonal signals. Through this ongoing communication, the endocrine system maintains a sense of timing and rhythm that supports the body through cycles of waking and sleeping, nourishment and fasting, calmness and activity. Another layer of gentle connection appears between the liver and the lymphatic system. The liver produces many of the proteins that circulate in the body's lymph, a clear fluid that carries immune cells and filtered nutrients. Albumin, for example, produced by the liver, helps maintain fluid balance between blood vessels and surrounding tissues. Without this delicate support, fluid would accumulate or disperse unevenly, disturbing the serenity of internal spaces. The liver also communicates with the lymphatic system through the removal of old red blood cells and the gentle breakdown of hemoglobin, allowing the body to recycle nutrients and remove waste in a calm, continuous cycle. This connection ensures that the lymphatic system can perform its role quietly, supporting immunity, cleansing fluids, and maintaining the soft equilibrium of tissues. The immune system, too, finds a close partner in the liver. Kupffer cells, resting within the liver's sinusoids, help filter the blood with unhurried care, removing unwanted particles and presenting antigens in ways that guide immune tolerance. Rather than provoking harsh responses, the liver helps the immune system recognize what is harmless and what requires attention. This subtle teaching allows the body to maintain a peaceful internal environment even as it interacts with the outside world through eating, breathing, and natural exposure. The liver's detoxification pathways support this balance by transforming substances that might otherwise stress the immune system. Through these quiet acts, the liver helps maintain clarity within the bloodstream and calmness within immune interactions. Even the musculoskeletal system engages in a silent conversation with the liver. Muscles rely on the liver to supply glucose during periods of movement, and the liver responds to their increasing demands with gentle release. Bones depend on the liver's storage and regulation of vitamin D and other nutrients essential for mineralization. When the body moves from activity into rest, the signals shift, and the liver softens its metabolic pace accordingly. This adaptability underscores the liver's ability to respond to changing needs without ever disrupting the underlying stillness of the internal environment. Each of these interactions, digestive, circulatory, endocrine, lymphatic, immune, and musculoskeletal, unfolds with continuity rather than separation. The liver is not switching roles but weaving its influence through every system in a way that mirrors the body's natural unity. It listens for signals carried through the bloodstream, responds with measured adjustments, and offers a quiet guiding presence that helps maintain balance. Every moment becomes part of an unbroken conversation, shaped by chemistry rather than sound, and by rhythm rather than effort. As you imagine this communication, it may create a sense of tranquility within your awareness. The liver does not need to announce its actions. Its influence is soft, its timing perfect, its responses aligned with the body's deepest patterns. It works in companionship with every organ, offering stability, nourishment, guidance, and protection. This interconnectedness is perhaps one of the most calming truths of human anatomy, that no part of the body ever works alone, and that harmony is maintained not through force but through gentle collaboration. As Part 15 comes to its peaceful end, you may feel a deeper appreciation for the liver's quiet presence across all bodily systems. It is not just a metabolic organ, nor solely a detoxifier, nor simply a storehouse of nutrients. It is a soft communicator, shaping the internal environment with steady, unwavering care. 16. Regeneration, the liver's extraordinary renewal. In the serene interior of the human body, where tissues expand, contract, and replenish themselves in rhythms too gentle to ever stir the surface of awareness, the liver holds one of the most remarkable abilities in all of biology. It can renew itself not in sudden bursts or dramatic surges, but in a quiet, measured unfolding that mirrors the slow growth of leaves after winter or the steady rising of tides under a calm moon. This restorative capacity is woven into the liver's very nature, allowing it to rebuild what has been lost, reinforce what has been strained, and maintain its wide range of responsibilities, even through change. As we drift into this part of the journey, we explore the soft mystery of liver regeneration, a process that highlights both the organ's resilience and its deep commitment to preserving internal balance. To imagine this gift clearly, begin by picturing the liver as a peaceful landscape of cells hepatocytes arranged like small, repeating gardens of light and structure. Under normal circumstances, these hepatocytes live long lives. They hum gently in rhythm with thousands of metabolic tasks, transforming nutrients, managing hormones, cleansing the bloodstream, and supporting countless quiet cycles of chemistry. They do not divide rapidly or frequently. Instead, they remain focused on steady function, on the soft continuity that keeps the body's internal world stable. Yet within each hepatocyte lies a dormant readiness, a calm but profound potential to awaken into renewal when the body calls for it. If an area of the liver becomes damaged, whether through loss of tissue, stress, or localized strain, the organ responds not with alarm but with an intentional, organized increase in cellular activity. The remaining hepatocytes enter a state of peaceful proliferation, not because they are forced to, but because the liver understands the importance of restoring itself for the body's well-being. Growth factors released within the bloodstream act as the liver's quiet messengers, drifting toward areas where regeneration is needed and gently encouraging cells to divide. These signals do not overwhelm the organ. They move like soft breezes, awakening only those cells that are required for restoration. And as hepatocytes begin to multiply, they do so in patterns that preserve the liver's natural architecture, aligning themselves into the same harmonious structures, sinusoids, lobules, pathways that existed before. This self-restoration is unique among human organs. Many tissues can repair small injuries, but the liver alone can regrow large portions of its mass without losing its structure or its function. This capacity reflects the deep and ancient relationship between the liver and survival. Because the liver touches nearly every system within the body: digestion, metabolism, circulation, immunity, it must remain capable of meeting these responsibilities, even when challenged. Evolution has granted it this extraordinary flexibility, not for dramatic recovery, but for the quiet assurance that balance can always be restored. As regeneration unfolds, the sinusoids, those gentle channels that carry blood through the liver, also reform, adapting gracefully to the presence of new hepatocytes. Cells lining these sinusoids communicate softly with their neighbors, guiding the expansion of new tissue and helping shape the tiny pathways through which blood will soon flow. The liver's internal blood vessels adjust with the same attentiveness, expanding and shifting to support the growth of fresh tissue. Instead, the organ grows in harmony with the body's broader circulation, ensuring that every new cell receives nourishment without disturbing the calm flow of blood. Even the extracellular matrix, the soft structural framework that supports the liver, participates in regeneration with deliberate care. It creates a quiet scaffold that helps guide new hepatocytes into place, offering subtle cues about where each cell should settle. This framework prevents growth from becoming chaotic or disorganized. Instead, regeneration becomes a form of gentle rebuilding, restoring both the liver's shape and its many fine-grained internal networks. Through this cooperation, the liver returns not just to completeness, but to coherence. preserving the delicate relationships between its pathways, vessels, cells, and functions. During regeneration, the liver continues its normal duties without pause. It still transforms nutrients into useful forms. It still stores energy and releases it when needed. It still manages hormones, processes proteins, and clears the bloodstream of unwanted substances. This uninterrupted activity reveals the organ's remarkable capacity to balance renewal with continuous service. Even when a portion of its tissue is diverted toward healing, the liver adjusts its metabolism with gentle fluidity, ensuring that the body never feels sudden strain. The restorative process moves alongside everyday function the way a tide rises alongside the natural movement of waves, supporting life, shaping form, and maintaining balance with quiet persistence. A particularly soothing aspect of regeneration is its self-limiting nature. The liver does not grow endlessly. It grows until it has returned to its natural size and no further. This wisdom arises from the soft interplay of chemical signals, some encouraging growth, others gently restraining it. When tissue has been restored and the organ senses that equilibrium has returned, growth factors diminish, and hepatocytes return peacefully to their calm, steady rhythm of metabolism. Renewal gives way to maintenance. Activity slows. The organ settles back into its familiar state of quiet devotion, ready to resume its continuous care without calling attention to its recent transformation. This entire cycle, damage, response, renewal, balance, creates a profound sense of reassurance about the liver's presence in your internal world. It reminds you that within your body there exists a system that not only endures but adapts, that not only functions but restores, and that not only supports life's everyday demands but safeguards its long-term harmony. Even in moments of strain, the liver's resilience unfolds gently, almost invisibly, beneath your awareness. To rest in this understanding is to appreciate the deeper unity of the body. Renewal is built into its design. Harmony is prioritized. Strength and softness exist together, interwoven through processes that sustain life with calm intelligence. The liver does not seek recognition for this role. It performs its regeneration quietly, just as it carries out every other task. As Part 16 comes to a peaceful close, you may feel comforted by the knowledge that the liver's resilience is always present, always patient, and always aligned with your well-being. 17. The liver, through a full, daily cycle. Across the gentle sweep of a full day and night, the liver moves through its responsibilities with a rhythm that feels almost like breathing, steady, reliable, and perfectly attuned to the body's changing needs. From the first quiet moments of waking to the soft descent into sleep, the liver never pauses. It adjusts with such fluidity that its presence often goes unnoticed, yet its contributions support every hour, every meal, every movement, and every dream. To drift through the liver's daily cycle is to witness the quiet choreography of homeostasis, unfolding moment by moment beneath your awareness, sustaining you through the ebb and flow of each day. As morning begins, even before the mind fully awakens, the liver is already tending to the delicate balance of energy. During the night, when food intake paused and the body entered deeper rest, the liver maintained blood glucose through glycogenolysis, releasing small amounts of stored sugar to ensure that the brain, heart, and muscles received a steady stream of nourishment. Now, as the body transitions from sleep into wakefulness, the liver senses changes in hormonal signals, subtle shifts in cortisol and other regulators that rise with the light of day. These signals gently encourage the liver to prepare for renewed activity. Glucose release may continue for a time, offering support until the first meal arrives, stabilizing the body's internal environment as it moves from stillness into motion. With the first meal of the day, the liver steps into a different part of its cycle. Nutrients absorbed in the small intestine, whether carbohydrates, proteins, or fats, travel toward the liver through the portal vein. This morning flow carries with it the beginnings of the day's nourishment, and the liver receives it with calm attentiveness. Excess glucose becomes glycogen, tucked away in quiet reserves. Amino acids are examined and guided into pathways for protein synthesis. Fats are processed gently, accompanied by the release of bile if needed to help the small intestine emulsify and absorb them. Even the vitamins and minerals carried in this early meal find their way into storage spaces within the liver, where they may rest for hours, days, or months until called upon. Nothing is rushed. The liver simply adjusts to the morning influx, shaping the body's internal chemistry so that the transition from fasting to nourishment is smooth and reassuring. As the morning deepens into midday, the liver continues its quiet work, responding to shifts in energy demand and nutrient availability. If activity increases walking, thinking, lifting, speaking, the muscles draw more glucose from the bloodstream, and the liver responds with gentle precision. It may release additional glucose from glycogen stores or redirect amino acids toward energy pathways. If the meal was rich in carbohydrates, the liver may focus on storing the excess in ways that support later needs. If the meal was lighter, the liver may rely more on fatty acid metabolism or gluconeogenesis, shaping energy availability with flexible calm. All the while, it continues detoxifying substances that arrived through digestion or natural metabolism, modifying hormones as needed, and keeping the bloodstream's composition within the narrow ranges that protect internal harmony. As afternoon unfolds, the liver enters a quieter phase of its daily rhythm. Digestion continues, but more slowly. Energy needs may shift downward if the body rests, or upward if movement continues. During this time, the liver may devote more of its gentle attention to maintaining hormonal balance. Insulin and glucagon rise and fall depending on recent food intake, and the liver responds accordingly, storing or releasing glucose to ensure steadiness. Thyroid hormones circulate softly, influencing metabolic pace, and the liver helps convert them into active or inactive forms as needed. Other hormones, having carried out their tasks earlier in the day, enter the liver to be modified or cleared, making room for new messages to guide the next phases of activity. This ongoing rhythm demonstrates how the liver constantly evaluates and adjusts, even when outward activity seems calm. As evening approaches and meals are taken later in the day, the liver once again supports digestion with its steady presence. Bile may flow from the gallbladder to help break down dietary fats. Newly absorbed nutrients arrive through the portal circulation, offering the liver fresh materials to transform or store. The liver understands that nighttime is coming and prepares accordingly. It begins storing energy for the overnight fast, replenishing glycogen reserves that were used earlier. It may increase its involvement in detoxifying substances absorbed during the evening meal or produced through the day's natural metabolism. Even as the body slows, the liver's tasks remain steady, ensuring that nutrient levels stay balanced and that the transition into night remains smooth and unhurried. Once night settles in and the body begins to drift toward sleep, the liver enters one of its most peaceful yet essential phases. With food intake halted, the liver becomes the quiet caretaker of energy stability. Glycogen, stored patiently during the day, becomes a steady source of glucose. The liver releases it at a controlled pace, ensuring that the brain, which continues its silent work of dreaming, restoring, and regulating, receives the nourishment it needs. If glycogen stores fall low, the liver shifts gently into gluconeogenesis, crafting new glucose from amino acids or other molecules to keep internal balance intact. This shift is not abrupt. It is like a soft dimming of one light and the gradual brightening of another, providing seamless support throughout the night. During these sleeping hours, detoxification processes often become more pronounced. The liver continues its patient removal of metabolic byproducts, gently transforming them into forms that can be released through the kidneys or digestive system. Hormones that guided the body's wakefulness earlier in the day are broken down, making space for those that rise during rest and recovery. Immune cells within the liver continue their quiet surveillance, filtering the bloodstream in preparation for another day. Even fat metabolism shifts during sleep, with the liver helping to balance the energy supply by gently breaking down fatty acids when needed. All of these tasks occur in silence beneath the surface of consciousness, allowing the sleeper to rest deeply while the liver works with unwavering calm. As dawn approaches, the liver anticipates the transition before the mind does. Hormonal signals begin to shift once more, gently nudging the body from nighttime restoration toward the energy needs of morning. Glycogen release continues, supporting the earliest waking moments. Detoxification pathways begin to quiet as the body prepares for new nutrient intake. The liver's internal cycle completes its daily arc, poised and ready to begin again with the first meal, the first movement, or the first breath taken in full wakefulness. What is perhaps most soothing about this daily cycle is how seamlessly it unfolds. The liver adjusts without hesitation, shifting from nourishment to cleansing, from storage to release, from daytime balance to nighttime support. Its work flows like a continuous tide, rising and falling with the natural patterns of the day but never withdrawing its steady presence. Through all of this, the liver provides not only chemical and metabolic support, but also a deep internal reassurance, a quiet certainty that the body is being cared for, moment by moment, hour by hour. As part 17 comes to its calm and gentle close, you may feel a clearer sense of the liver's companionship throughout your daily rhythm. Its cycle is your cycle. Its adjustments mirror your needs. And as you rest or wake, eat or fast, move or sleep, the liver remains devoted to maintaining the soft stability of your internal world. 18. When the liver signals for attention. In the soft equilibrium of the body, where each organ contributes quietly to a state of inner harmony, the liver is among the most modest. It performs thousands of tasks, each moment processing nutrients, storing energy, creating proteins, clearing byproducts, and balancing hormones. Yet it rarely announces its efforts. It does not seek recognition and does not hurry its rhythms. Instead, it supports life with an enduring gentleness that continues day and night. But even in its quiet devotion, the liver has ways of communicating when it needs support, though these signals are subtle, patient, and often easy to overlook. Understanding these gentle forms of communication can deepen one's appreciation for how the body maintains balance and how the liver participates in safeguarding that balance without alarming or startling the organism it serves. To imagine how the liver signals for attention, it is helpful to remember that the organ works at the center of countless pathways. It responds to fluctuations in blood sugar, to shifts in hormones, to the arrival of nutrients, and to the removal of metabolic byproducts. Because of this central role, even small imbalances elsewhere can softly influence the liver's behavior. Rather than pushing back abruptly, the liver adjusts with a patient responsiveness. Yet if these adjustments become difficult, if an ongoing imbalance in the body requires more support than usual, the liver may begin to send its quiet messages. These messages are not sharp or uncomfortable in their intention. They are simply reflections of the liver's persistent effort to maintain internal order. One of the gentlest ways the liver expresses strain is through its handling of energy. When the liver has trouble keeping glucose levels steady, the body may experience slightly irregular energy patterns. Some moments may feel a little more sluggish, others slightly more restless. These sensations are not signs of failure, but signs of the liver working a bit harder, adjusting its release of glycogen or its conversion of amino acids into glucose. Nothing abrupt occurs. The shifts feel more like ripples in an otherwise calm pool. The liver, in these moments, is signaling that it is taking on extra work to maintain stability. Another soft signal emerges through digestion. Because the liver and the digestive tract are deeply connected, any imbalance in processing nutrients may gently influence how the body responds to meals. There might be a subtle heaviness after eating or a sense that certain foods rest more slowly than usual. These sensations come not from alarm, but from the liver's careful evaluation of nutrients and its effort to manage them thoughtfully, even when conditions are slightly more demanding than usual. The body, in its quiet intelligence, continues adapting with the liver, ensuring that comfort is preserved as much as possible. Hormonal balance, too, offers a soft channel through which the liver communicates. Since the liver plays a central role in modifying and clearing hormones, especially those involved in metabolism, digestion, and daily rhythms, an increase in hormonal workload may lead to gentle shifts in mood or energy. These shifts are not abrupt, they unfold gradually, like clouds passing through a still sky. They reflect the liver's steady work in helping the endocrine system maintain its delicate communication. When hormones linger slightly longer or circulate in subtly altered amounts, it is not a sign of distress, but simply a reminder of how interconnected every system is and how patiently the liver continues to support harmony. Because the liver participates in detoxification, another way it signals for attention is through changes in how the body feels after exposure to certain substances, foods, drinks, or environmental compounds. When the liver is managing a heavier than usual detoxifying load, it may process these substances a little more slowly, creating soft sensations of fatigue or mild imbalance. These are not alarms, but whispers, encouraging gentler rhythms, calmer meals, more space for rest. The liver continues working diligently, as it always does, and the body responds by offering signals that can guide behavior toward a more soothing pace. Even the immune system, which the liver supports through its gentle filtering of blood and its guidance of immune tolerance, can subtly reflect when the liver is working harder. A sense of slight internal heaviness or slower recovery from everyday activities may surface during these times. Yet again, these expressions are quiet and patient. They demonstrate the liver's incredible willingness to support hundreds of tasks at once, even when the balance is momentarily tilted. The most calming truth in all of this is that the liver rarely sends abrupt or uncomfortable signals. Instead, it prefers to whisper through energy, digestion, hormonal rhythms, detoxification, and gentle shifts in internal ease. These whispers invite rest, nourishment, steady pacing, and an awareness of the body's natural cycles. They remind us that the liver's responsibilities are vast, and that its calm presence depends on the cooperation of the entire organism. When the body responds with softer rhythms, the liver adapts smoothly, returning to its quiet orchestration of metabolic harmony. It is also soothing to recognize that the liver's ability to regenerate and rebalance itself provides a deep well of resilience. Even when it works harder or signals subtly for attention, it continues restoring structure and function without urgency. Its regenerative capacity provides a built-in reassurance that temporary imbalance does not derail its purpose. The liver supports the body even when conditions fluctuate, gently steering the internal environment back toward equilibrium. You might imagine all of this communication as a quiet conversation, one that never disturbs the mind, never interrupts rest, never compromises tranquility. It happens beneath awareness, shaped by chemistry rather than sound. The liver participates in this conversation with the same patience that defines all of its tasks, guiding the body toward comfort and stability even when the path curves slightly. As Part 18 settles to a close, you may feel comforted by the idea that the liver's signals are always gentle, always rooted in balance, and always part of a larger harmony within the body. 19. The liver in the larger story of human anatomy. Across the spacious, interconnected landscape of the human body, every organ contributes its own quiet voice to a wider harmony. Each structure has a purpose. Each system has a rhythm, and together they create a balanced environment that supports life with fluid ease. Within this intricate network, the liver stands as one of the most continuous and central participants, not because it calls attention to itself, but because it quietly influences nearly every pathway that sustains the body's internal stability. To understand the liver in the larger story of human anatomy, is to see it not simply as a single organ, but as a unifying presence, an anchor that supports, communicates, connects, and stabilizes countless systems without ever disturbing the peaceful interior landscape. When we imagine the body as a living ecosystem, the liver feels like a wide, calm river delta, receiving materials from many directions, refining them, redistributing them, and guiding the entire system toward balance. Blood arrives carrying nutrients, hormones, signals, and byproducts. The liver greets them all with equal patience. It processes some, stores others, modifies what needs reshaping, and releases what must move onward. Through this soft choreography of transformation, the liver ensures that the circulatory system remains clear, nourished, and balanced. It is not merely a filter but a thoughtful curator, helping the bloodstream maintain the right concentrations of sugars, proteins, lipids, minerals, and signaling molecules. Its influence quietly shapes the internal terrain upon which all other organs depend. The liver's relationship with the digestive system further reveals its place in the greater anatomical story. Digestion begins long before the liver becomes involved. Yet digestion cannot fully support the body without the liver's contributions. Nutrients that enter through the digestive tract are simply raw materials, valuable but unrefined. The liver transforms these raw materials into forms that tissues can use, stabilizes their concentrations, and safeguards the bloodstream against imbalances. It prepares fats for absorption through the creation of bile, helps regulate the arrival of glucose after meals, and gently buffers fluctuations that might otherwise strain the body. Through this partnership, digestion becomes not just a process of breaking food down, but one of shaping nourishment into a harmonious internal flow. The liver's calm influence bridges energy intake and energy use, connecting the external world with the internal environment through an unbroken stream of metabolic support. Meanwhile, the liver's deep communication with the endocrine system situates it within one of the body's most delicate networks. Hormones, which guide nearly every physiological rhythm, depend on the liver for both activation and clearing. The liver softly shapes the lifespan of each hormone signal, ensuring that communication remains precise, balanced, and timely. Without this moderation, hormones might linger too long or fade too quickly, leaving the body's cycles confused or uncoordinated. Instead, the liver provides a quiet, steadying effect, smoothing the waves of hormonal messaging in a way that maintains emotional balance, metabolic harmony, and the seamless rise and fall of daily rhythms. In this role, the liver becomes not only a metabolic organ but a gentle steward of internal communication. Its place within the immune system extends this sense of subtle guardianship. The liver, constantly receiving blood from the digestive organs, carries the early responsibility of discerning between what is safe and what needs gentle intervention. Cooper cells examine passing particles with patience. Hepatocytes interact with antigens in ways that teach the immune system tolerance. Rather than generating aggressive responses, the liver encourages balance, preventing unnecessary inflammation and maintaining the peaceful inner conditions upon which all physiology depends. This immune partnership highlights how the liver supports stability not only through chemical processes, but also through steady, protective awareness. Even the musculoskeletal system, often thought of as separate from metabolism, quietly depends on the liver. Muscles draw upon glucose, the liver releases with care. Bones rely on vitamin D and minerals stored within the liver's tissues. Tendons and ligaments depend on proteins and nutrients shaped by the liver's metabolic craftsmanship. As the body moves, sits, climbs, stretches, or rests, the liver adjusts its support, ensuring tissues receive the steady nourishment they need. Movement becomes possible not through muscle alone, but through the silent contributions of an organ that stabilizes the very fuel those muscles consume. In this way, the liver behaves almost like a conductor of an internal orchestra, not standing above the other instruments, but guiding their tempo, shaping their dynamics, and ensuring that each part remains in harmony with the whole. Its influence is wide but never heavy-handed. The liver listens to signals from all systems and adjusts its output with remarkable subtlety. Its actions reflect a deep underlying principle of anatomy. The body's stability is maintained through cooperation, not isolation. Each organ depends on others, and the liver, with its many connections, strengthens these bonds with gentle persistence. When we imagine the broader story of human anatomy, the liver becomes a symbol of the body's quiet wisdom. It reminds us that balance is not achieved through intensity but through continuity, through thousands of small adjustments unfolding moment by moment. It works without pause, yet without strain, aligning itself with the body's rhythms, the way a river aligns with the contours of the land. It shapes the bloodstream, supports digestion, moderates hormones, steadies energy, guides immune function, and offers nutrients to every tissue, all with a nature that feels patient, rhythmic, and calm. And perhaps most comforting of all is the liver's ability to remain steadfast even when conditions shift. It regenerates softly, restores itself with grace, and returns to equilibrium without demanding attention. In doing so, it becomes a quiet assurance woven into the fabric of life, a reminder that within you exists a system designed not only for function but for resilience, nourishment, and harmony. As part 19 settles into stillness, the liver's place in the wider story of human anatomy becomes clearer. It is the gentle anchor, the unbroken thread, the quiet harmonizer that supports every system from within. 20. A gentle closing reflection on the liver's quiet devotion. As we arrive at the final chapter of this slow and peaceful journey through the landscape of the human liver, it feels fitting to settle into a place of soft reflection. The liver, with its wide presence and steady rhythm, has accompanied us through each part without ever raising its voice. It has revealed itself as an organ of comfort, of patience, and of quiet resilience. And now, as we bring this long exploration to a tranquil close, we allow the full picture of the liver's nature to drift gently into focus, an image of unwavering support woven seamlessly into every hour of your life. Throughout this journey, we have seen the liver as a guardian of balance, a craftsman of molecules, a silent communicator, and a calm protector of the bloodstream. Its work spans everything from energy management to detoxification, from nutrient storage to hormone regulation. Yet none of these duties ever disturb the body's internal peace. Instead, they fold into one another like soft layers of fabric, creating a stable foundation upon which all other systems can rest. The liver performs thousands of delicate adjustments each second, yet you feel none of them. It is this quiet competence, this gentle constancy. Perhaps one of the most soothing aspects of the liver is its unwavering devotion to homeostasis, the body's deep desire to maintain steady internal conditions despite the shifting patterns of daily life. The liver listens to every rise and fall in the bloodstream, responding not with urgency but with calm adaptation. A change in blood sugar invites a small release or storage of energy. A wave of metabolic byproducts invites a transformation into gentler forms. An influx of nutrients invites careful sorting, storing, and reshaping. Each adjustment is subtle and tailored, and the liver offers it freely, asking nothing in return. It serves not through force, but through balance, not through abrupt correction, but through continual support. As we step back and look at the organ as a whole, we also see how deeply it values harmony. The liver works not alone, but as a partner to every other system: the digestive tract, endocrine glands, muscles, immune cells, the bloodstream itself. It senses what they need and responds in ways that uphold the body's integrity. It moderates hormonal signals, filters what enters from the outside world, prepares nutrients for tissues that rely upon them, and guides the body's rhythms across the full cycle of day and night. And in doing so, It becomes a quiet thread woven through every moment of human life, linking all of the body's systems with a sense of unity and pace. What may be even more calming is the liver's gentle resilience. Even when circumstances shift, when the body works harder, when digestion becomes more demanding, when hormonal signals fluctuate, the liver softens the impact with its capacity for adaptation. And if it becomes strained or damaged, it begins its serene process of renewal, rebuilding itself with thoughtful precision. This regenerative ability is one of the liver's greatest gifts, a natural assurance that restoration is always possible, that balance can always return. The liver does not rush this healing. It unfolds gradually, in harmony with the body's own sense of timing. It trusts that renewal, like all things in nature, thrives when it follows a gentle path. As you rest in this closing reflection, imagine the liver not as an anatomical structure alone, but as a presence, steady, warm, and patient. Picture it nestled beneath the ribs, bathing quietly in the flow of blood, receiving every molecule with discernment and sending it onward in a form the body can use. Picture its cells working in small, delicate motions, each one contributing to the soft orchestration of metabolism. And imagine the organ's broad surface rising and falling with the breath, moving in a rhythm that mirrors the calmness of your own internal tides. It is soothing to recognize that this organ, which rarely asks for attention, provides so much in return. While the heart beats audibly and the lungs fill with breath, the liver works in silence, yet its silence is full of meaning. It is a silence that sustains clarity within the bloodstream, that shapes nourishment into calm support, that carries out detoxification with care. You may never feel the liver working, but you live each moment in the comfort it provides. Allow yourself to appreciate how deeply the liver has been participating in your life since your earliest moments. Long before memory formed, long before awareness arose, the liver was already guiding your internal environment with patience. And it continues even now, and will continue across each day and night, maintaining the gentle constancy that allows you to think, move, rest, dream, and simply be. As this long, immersive journey settles into stillness, you may sense a quiet gratitude for the countless, delicate ways the liver supports your existence. It is an organ of steadiness, of protection, of soft transformation. It embodies the body's ability to keep balance even in changing conditions. And in knowing this, there is comfort, a reminder that deep within you, harmony is always being tended.